Thank you so much to the geniuses on the desk breaking it down. So many storylines coming in from different stages between these two teams. Two of the GOATs inside the region now finally butt heads. Only one makes it out, Lemon Kiwi.
Yeah, and a rematch from that stage 1 grand finals. It doesn't get any spicier than this after QOR swept them. Of course, these are different rosters now. Smoke is playing against his former team. SRB have always been the bridesmaid, never the bride in terms of getting to the finals. And now they want the throne. But man, you got the final boss on either side. These are two very strong rosters. And I agree with Ash. You could have easily predicted QOR and no one would have called you crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we had that storyline last time too, where there was some regrets about people not believing in QOR, but you talked about final boss. This boss of QOR did not show up to work the last time they were on Split. That is also another storyline. They got mopped by M80, where we should have thought that they had, at least on their own map pick, I believe at that time too, a bit of a chance to have some type of voice. We start things off, no pre-round play, right into the fray here with QOR and SRB attacking, and we know their methodical play and burst is very hard to deal with for a few teams. They're looking to make it through the lower part of this playoffs and take the gauntlet straight back to M80, win that spot, but this is the obstacle first they have to deal with. It is QOR.
Kumi's already had to adjust so much to the playstyle of Infiltrator versus Smoke, which Desk have highlighted. Kind of more slow and methodical there for Smoke, so consistent. Right now, SRB taking some damage. They've been already marked towards ramp, and out front, Flya is just gonna be the greeter. Steps inside of the Smoke, gets already one. I don't even think he got the paranoia off. SRB just surrounded, almost conquered, and as the dust settles, you have a 2v2.
Exa, the savior, saturating the screens of his opponents back to gray. Contrast between these two players and health bars, though, is going to be kind of crazy. Not much for SRB to work with. They have to need, or they just need a miracle here from other players. Satellite with the space and the time evens things out, but Moose is able to get the pickup. Long range. Exa is going to be the one to make the play. Moving over the map. Does he find the location? No. Moose is there to set the pace for QOR to have a leg up with the first pistol.
Moose is someone you can depend on when it comes to QOR for that experience. He's such a calm, collected person that when things get really stressful, you have good vibes on this team. And Derek has talked about it in like every single interview. That's why you put Derek on interviews. Such a good vibes merchant in terms of just getting hype. And Derek is bringing that energy. Moose can maybe counteract it a little bit to just keep things balanced, but this is a team that has so much knowledge of the game, so many years, and then kind of trying to be as well-rounded as they can. Consistency is what's going to matter. An Infiltrator can be someone who can gift you around, but also overcook it. And this is different duelists that both these teams have incorporated in the stage. Excited to see them both blossom. Even our last series was really defined by the duelists. So SRB dropped the pistol despite getting the plant down, getting the ball rolling. We'll see what this ramp control gives them this time. They walked into the core trap, recalling out, bait and switch, spike down. Information on SRB, they just were barely grabbing the spike, and QOR is still trying to punish them for it.
Feast or famine, when you mentioned the Infiltrator overheat, it kind of shines itself there just at the moment. I like the fact that you can saturate and get close, but now they've made it over towards the A side. SRB have found a gap to be able to play with in this round, upgraded their weapons. This is trouble for QOR.
Oh, Xander,
no.
Good win, especially at a distance. Moose, familiar position, the lone wolf. Try and close it out, 1v2, and Smoke back against the wall. Secures the Thrifty for SRB.
Classic Thrifty. What is this? I mean, oh my god, just pushing in over here. I think the saturate would have been a guarantee land in the mind of Infiltrator, and assuming you're the enemy team, you have the space, you want to take it. Bit of a blunder overall. Unfortunate the way the cookie crumbles. The biggest thing that you mentioned is all the energy between these two teams, Lemon. These guys need to upkeep it for QOR. Strategy be damned. Yes, I know defensive teams need to get more proactive. They need to make sure they are alive and trying their best every single round as well. And the shots are flowing. You're peeking off your teammates. The energy needs to be there for QOR. It was absent last time.
And SRB have a good mix of experience to Zoomers, and they had these ebbs and flows throughout the stage, but they really just are on the uptrend as SRB just being careful how they cross this threshold, because man, QOR just put up such a resistance, usually just spamming through. And SRB were netted that lane now, but still being careful. Ramp control has been a priority for SRB because they want to be able to watch over this site.
Lots of different lurks. The position here for Core, strong. The grip, gonna be a bit weak though with the weapons that they have. Not gonna be able to put the squeeze onto SRB as they want to. Flyamac gets checked here as well. Yeah, he gets slammed in by Xander, who's just checking sewers, making sure there isn't anything foolishness or any type of foolishness is happening towards the flank side. Now, a lot of A has been discovered again by the side of SRB. It seems like this is a bit of a weak spot that they can keep pressing on against Core. Thrifty's worked so far. The anti-eco has worked as well. And the pistol round was still successful in touching the site. So, conditioning already starting here from the attacking team.
Just giving this to Satellite now to get closer to the showstoppers. Smoke close to his ult. And you kind of thought that because SRB hadn't planted yet, they were still scaling and they didn't have someone watching the flank yet. There's still a good spread for SRB and Core. We're trying to activate the flank and weren't aware that SRB had so much map control still. So there's still a lot for Core to mark on this A approach. It's now back-to-back for SRB, and it's been successful for them when they have the better weapons. And Moose is just going to go down with the ship at this point. And I think SRB have been able to kind of switch things up based on what the defense has presented. This Viper's wall, it's not causing too much hesitation for SRB, but they are trying to be more aware of the possible crunch that Core could be forming on the other side of it.
They're trying to use that awareness to hopefully make some changes overall on both sides of the roster too, not just Core. SRB also probably wanted to switch, probably wants to switch up their game to make sure that they can take things over to mid, or even try towards the B side. The big thing I want to mention too is lifelines here in terms of compositions between these two teams. Core has so many more of them, so many more impactful ultimates to come back into the game. On the side of SRB, you kind of really just have Satellite showstopper. Everything else is either informational based or has to be piloted via, you know, knives and aim and stuff. But for Core, Nightfall, run it back, conversion pads, these three ultimates can give you immediate value, even if you in terms of aim. And some of them don't even need aim to be a part of them. That being said, SRB not going for that A crunch anymore, actually go for a bit more of mid pressure to take away some of the sight lines on the A side, then quickly pivot back over. I'm wondering if the Vents player are gonna be able to make it over to ramp to stop this. But if they slow walk in again, like you're talking about, Lemon, with that Viper wall, the crunch will come through once more.
SRB trying to sense maybe any early aggression from Core to see if they would want to punish what they would think is a solo lurk at A, which sometimes happens on this map. But SRB, they're so quick to take space, and Smoke is so quick to fall. Kumi catching him amidst the smoke and the chaos as SRB could not follow through, and they're really not picking up the mantle. It's just hitting their head into the defensive Core. That put a stop to them.
First correct adjustment. I'm loving the way these guys swing off each other as well. Sees this thrown straight through spawn. Kumi's there immediately to be able to get that frag. The repositioning as well is really nice from everybody on that team. Kumi starting up all the way up top. Infiltrator the one to peek off of it. Run it back, available as well through screens. Everybody staying together, finding each other. That is good defensive play we didn't see last time from Core.
Just would have liked if SRB, like the first thing you have to look at is screens. That's where the kill came from Kumi. And SRB, they didn't kind of launch out of the smoke, and at the same time, you already have an ult being popped from Smoke, hoping to take advantage of the stack that has happened here at mid. But with all the smokes and all the snake bites, the conversion pass is activated here from Infiltrator to get SRB into submission. And we have ourselves a stalemate.
A bit of a swing and a miss. I think SRB then get to walk towards first base for a bit, but no, they get tagged out. Infiltrator is able to cover the gaps for now. Exa down, and now mid has to be the focus. Something has to happen here. One flash to pop with. Spray gonna come and actually affect their entry frag. Smoke gonna be working with half HP through these weird sight lines, through the timings. Core right now is making things work. Really making sure they understand the ebb and flow of the map, really tapped into the timings of the SRB move.
The awareness of Core, like where Exa died was kind of wrapping around Vents. And for Infiltrator to turn around and deal with that, to keep hold of mid, and SRB had good patience to kind of wait out a lot of util, but man, their tempo was completely thrown off. They were hoping to get Smoke activated, to get him fragging out, and Core just delayed so well, and it threw SRB off. And now we have ops in round 6. So Infiltrator versus Smoke.
Recall coming through to get Infiltrator Maybe off the line. He's right back on it. Doesn't want to refract back either. He's gonna be the first point of contact here. Smoke's not gonna be able to find too much in middle. Or not giving him anything to play with. Infiltrator though can carve out the right side of this one.
And Smokes talked about in interviews how his mentality is facing another op. He wants to avoid them as much as possible. He wants to read how they're positioning around the map. So this is going to be a long-term thought process for Smoke and what the tendencies will be out of Infiltrator. And just pushing up this deep into mid with an op is kind of crazy, but Smoke will try to hopefully dash out. It's not going to be the refract that the Waylay has. Speaking of which, the op is on defense and it's out dropped from Infiltrator after pushing Garage.
SRB, I was about to say, where's the flash? They don't have anybody to make the play here. And Nature comes flying in with a bird. It screeches and it distracts Infiltrator completely. He tries to get off the line. It's not possible. Still slowing the round down. A third phase of an entry here from SRB. They have really put a risk on this round by themselves. Not scaling off that kill might have been a mistake because B site is now completely bolstered up. 1-4 take. This Astral Wall, the Cosmic Device, not going to block too much at all. Flya, Paranoia to stop these guys in their tracks. 15 seconds left to get past both the hot hands. The Omen, the players on site, is going to be a bit too much to handle. SRB though. Last seconds on the clock, 4 to plant. It comes to at 5. They've kind of done it. Maintain control through this rocky ride.
It's a 3v1 Seekers, by the way, and then a Cosmic Divide, which almost gives a positional advantage to Flya, who could play around the Cosmic Divide and was kind of being a nuisance. If you can slow down SRB, like, there's a real chance to win. And if it wasn't for some really clutch kills out of Nature once they were on the side, I don't know. This SRB could have easily been tripped up. It took a pretty heavy investment. They got the job done. Now they can cycle through the rest along with a showstopper from Satellite. It'll be his turn to be in the sun this time. And both ops kind of were doing a lot of contact plays, which worried me.
Having an op on this attack, though, at the same time will slow things down. Your double duelist flavor kind of gets completely washed out. No rush. Infiltrator with the timing. It's not going to get much, but with the distraction, Derek does take Smoke down. Nightfall.
Blind Nightfall gets no one. Derek thought that after that exchange, he was worried being solo as no one's in heaven. Don't know if SRB went ramps, which has been a goal of theirs pretty often when going into A. So, you know, he doesn't know what we know. So,
value from that one, though. Knowing nobody's there means that they haven't taken over heaven. Fully resetting the A line is not bad, especially if Kumi comes back like he did and kind of tries to re-clear what happens up in main. To send some more Fade Util too to make sure that things are clear. And now the understanding is, yes, SRB are moving over towards mid and give up that A line entirely. Here comes Kumi straight up in the vents, linking up crossfires with his teammate. But fortunately, Moose is a really far ways back in Rafters. So this is a solo play from Kumi right here.
We hear the showstopper. Kumi wants to follow along in that shadow potentially. No one's gonna present themselves to the showstopper, and the splash is good enough. But man, Flya is next level. He's gonna find some cover after not knowing the numbers that are ahead of him. Xander will close that out, and sure enough, with a 2v1 and a Viper's Pit to be able to nail in the coffin. If anyone can do it, it's Derek. Oh, a mark on the person. That shot at the pit comes down. Xander's half health. Derek can do it. No thoughts, just aim, and Xander with another clutch kill to save SRB.
Derek against Xander. We've seen it in different tiers happening before. Xander locking it down right there towards the end. Kind of playing off timing as well. You'd expect that he'd just play for time, maybe listen for the tap and then swing, but the risky play to be there and swing first. The confidence of both these teams really leaking through. SRB being the ones to try to take first contact at every single point possible. And Xander towards the end is also representing that right now. Now, in these rounds so far as well, it just seems that SRB, no matter what their decision is, they try to follow through as much as possible. QOR have themselves stretched across the map as they've lost so many things at multiple times. Not going to be able to match that level of confidence that SRB has right now. They're just walking straight through the pit. Confidence is insane. They still have a second layer behind it as well. I mean, these guys are maniacs.
I don't like who was the person that stepped into that pit. Like, you could have thrown a boom bot, like something to zone out and put some pressure on the space that QOR were trying to hold there. And you thought just Well, the surprise of no one would ever walk through this pit, not without using something. And SRB still 4 versus 4, and the pit maintains.
Pit maintains, but it's fractured. As a result, A side gonna be a bit weaker. SRB understand that. This is where they choose to press on the wound, pushing towards A.
Quick check from Derek. Will be a pillar and screens, but he's not gonna have a nightfall to stop this flood. And SRB, they throw out a flash, but didn't react fast enough. No satchels, no movement, just trades, and maybe that's good enough for SRB. But here comes Kumi. Enough of a delay from Derek created as him and Moose can work together, but Moose is on the flank, and I don't think Kumi can afford to wait. He's been marked by the flash. He's in a 1v2. He's trying to play his life until Moose comes running in, and Xander ends it with a shorty. Good luck to Moose, 45 HP, 1v2, and these positions that he has to kind of break out for SRB. I mean, this is going to be tough for Moose. Let's see if he can isolate this against Xander. And quick little crouch, quick end for Xander as he gets 3.
He's so good at just finishing these rounds, Xander. Not really faltering in his aim too much. Just to spray miss a bit towards the end there, but just again, locking down for that kill. That being said, though, one player is trying to make a difference on core as much as possible. The Demon Derek over at Map and that site is just making this a little bit of a hellscape for SRB to scale into. Timeout coming in for core, because yes, that flavor of Derek as an anchor is working well for A, but they need a second layer, someone to respond to the amount of pressure he's making. We saw it in the anti-eco round, I think, or the one afterwards. Everybody flooded in from screens. Infiltrator was there, the sees it properly. People were able to play off of Derek. And now in that round, yes, the pit, and I feel like the action that happened there distracted people. It got all the teammates from Derek away, and as a result, SRB had a gap to move in with. If one person moves, the team has to move. Core has to stay together. That's when they're the best.
I wouldn't mind like Flya going for more kind of preemptive paranoias. You saw that maybe in the pistol. He just like jumps into the smoke and is conditioning SRB to be scared of any smokes or just how they're crossing when they have no vision, no info. So if Flya could be part of that equation with paranoias, help put up more of a resistance, more delay, so that Derek has something to work off of, or just playing in screens so that you just play for full retake. Derek is stuck on site and in kind of a one and done position with no escape. And sometimes that does give enough time for Kumi to come in and help, and sometimes it doesn't. So clearly this core timeout will be to kind of reaffirm some of their defensive positions. Right now it's the double duelist in ramps. SRB, though, their focus is into B.
SRB. Trying to go for the namesake. But this is one of the best ways you can lock down and split as well. Take the B space, get the orb, re-explore main. It's one of the most foolproof things here, though, for Exa. Chaos is one player's picked up, but for Derek, the plan was to actually push down A main this time. They get some value. Are able to fight with a Phantom for now. They'll champion that as the rest of the team understands where the stack is. They start to push through B heaven. I'm liking this adjustment from core again. You know, core together strong. When you have a teammate to play off of, it's looking good. Moose tries to link in with Flya, who's at low HP. Xander snuck through in Rafter, so he's trying to break this connection. Satellite makes connection errors happen through for Flya, who gets no value. Derek has to screen by himself now. No teammates to work off of his Phantom. No one to really recycle it. He's trying to go for some type of value. Infiltrator dropping down the other side. They finally find a link and start to go for some shots on it. Both sides of pillar. Smoke with the scope, though. Gets denied. On the spike is the last player, Nature. Pop flash. Derek super blind. On the angle, Nature is just too strong. And every player right now is screaming, trying to find a hold of this game. SRB is just doing it better.
And it's not about the quantity of kills for Nature, it's the quality of them. Like the impact that he has on the ones that he has when it comes to getting into B. The whole reason SRB can even maintain that site. I am worried about Exa Lurks. It's been now 2 times that I think he's been checked trying to go through sewers. And, you know, it's not happening consistently, but it is something core are aware of. So there needs to be a switch up there if they want to open up their options. I mean, SRB are still winning, just going down plan A or really site B. Oh, wait a minute. Someone just sailed by in front of Infiltrator. Whoa.
Yeah, he has to go all the way far back. Op now in a weird spot with all the smokes. Derek now in backside. Can he find a link? One person already in through screens. It's Infiltrator with a scope playing off the C's and the fear lines. Kumi run it back to just contain the herd inside A main for Derek to keep picking, prodding, poking with. That Vandal not going to find much, but get infiltrated back on the line. Screen now comes in. Smoke from across the map as Flya has taken control of that B main side. Satellite gets sprayed down through all the dark cover. And now a reset for SRB, possibly a save as Flya has found so much information in space. Moose also exploring down mid main. It's tough for the moment on SRB. They are trapped. They are out of fuel.
Oof. Good check from Flya and SRB. 2 versus 5, just not going to happen. But hey, Core have really cemented this A site defense. I mean, it's something that they're not even letting SRB get a plant. They don't even have to play for retake. And if this threat of the op continues, a one-sided op, and hey, you got a double lined up like this, it always helps. Making it a flawless. The one-sided op may prove to be a significant hurdle that SRB have to jump through.
Yeah, it's an excellent call for you, or a call from you though, Lemon. You were the one saying that screens has to be the place that this defensive team needs to really bolster up. And we saw 2 players coming on that side, infiltrators there as well. It's kind of the hub that the defensive players want to play around before they actually come in. So amazing Pred, good analysis on the way that things need to change for Core. They decided that the same talks needed to happen in that timeout. The question is, what happens now for SRB? How do you fight against the screens pressure? And I like this from Core. They don't even utilize that angle anymore. They're switching it up to a 1-3-1 a little bit, working on middle. So they're predicting the SRB adjustment. Infiltrators back online with this site, and you'd assume that there's going to be a smoke being propped up and down without hearing it. Yeah, SRB so smart, realized there is a scope active, dashing past it. This dynamicism from SRB is amazing. They're trying to work for it. Spray coming through on this round, which is a bit of a 50 from their side, completely shuts down their push.
You heard like a quick jump at the corner near vents, so SRB just had to get as close as they could. I think there was 2 stingers that tried to work through garage, but the shots from Core are so clean. Back-to-back flawlesses as well. And this is always a learning moment for SRB to find out what are going to be these common positions that Infiltrator takes with the op. And now Smoke is able to afford his, just barely, because it has to take light armor because of it. But at the last run of the half, you're just going all in on trying to have a 6-6 or a 7-5 half, which would be solid on split.
Yeah, I think for attack it's going to be huge. I know you like looking at the side disparities for either team, so if you want to dive in and see what SRB's is kind of looking like, I want to just say that on attack 6 is already absolutely great. We'll lock it down as we see a few ultimates online as well. Nature ready to go. Xander also ready to lock it down, but these ultimates require space to already be taken, and SRB can't find any. Derek's also swapped in towards an Odin, which makes this cross that much more dangerous for the side of SRB, but they've made it. Barrel on the left side. Seeker's starting to come in, and hopefully it finds Infiltrator first. I feel like with the flash dodged, that Seeker's going straight to the Odin. It gets solved. Trailblazer up in the mix as well as the rest of the team starts to make it kind of through heaven. Smoke needs to be the guy that penetrates this site right now. He's looking at things, but Kumi's already in the way. Middle fight comes through, and Moose wins the spray.
SRB just can't get into mail. You had the Seekers that had to just mark numbers. You had info of 2 in mid, and then you just tried to follow through on the 8 push you already had. A Smoke gets a collide through 2. The 2 duelists fall, and SRB stand tall in heaven. They are not done yet, but the spike needs to see some movement. Nature is still in mid, and there's a threat of someone in mail. Moose was last marked in mail, so Nature needs to be escorted here, and Nexa will have his back, and all that progress that Smoke made is no longer there.
Thomas Mace bought to maybe figure out this puzzle. Flya has been such a boss on this side, such a barrier. Online with the aim, barely even shot any bullets, but he's just so flicky, just so active. He cannot miss. You thought staying on this site for 9 rounds and seeing no action made him cold? Nah, this guy's just heating up.
Huge rounds coming out of Flya when it comes to a B defense. I mean, he's been incredible to hold down garage. Moose has been untouchable in mail. His double duelist usually doesn't get cooked like this, but hey, huge moment for Smoke, even though it didn't net them a win. It looked cool, but now I don't know if you're looking at a 6-6 being very cool. Both teams are running double duelists though, so you're expecting to yield more positives out of your attack than not. We'll see what Core have cooked up, because this is their map pick. This is where you get to execute all the plans after now getting warmed up with a half under your belt.
I'm scared for SRB right now because the Core side of things, usually the teamwork's not working well, or on the other side, individually, they're not showing up. Flya though is locked in, and now He gets to explore the map, play with his team, and teamwork has been amazing for the side of Core so far. SRB, no joke though.
Usually Core have a different Viper's wall that they kind of cover their tracks when getting into ramps, and they switch things up. Fly as a victim, and the whole SRB stack is here to deny this free site take from Core that they thought would have been so easy, and now it's impossible. The spike is on the site. There's a snake bite. Moose is walking into a crossfire. Man, what a retaliation from SRB to take this defensive pistol.
You mentioned the different Viper's wall. That one's going to be easily seen from the side of ramp. Forces everybody to maybe ignore it, go straight into sight, and then everyone's ready to literally wrestle the rest of Core down. Exa from the top rope. Did we see that correctly? This guy's jumping in back into his own smoke to make sure that he's safe. That was crazy. 15 seconds on this next round as well, where we saw SRB win on the other half, right? This is not a joke of a round. You have to really lock it down and make sure on the defensive team you don't let any gap go unnoticed.
It was an SRB thrifty too that denied the anti-eco from Core, and why we even have this close of a game in the first place. Both teams have gone on some serious win streaks too. A 4 streak out of SRB, 3 for Core to end the half, and after marking that, X is going to get off his phone and time to lock in. He's even just going to spam through to make sure that Core are not going to disrespect his util.
The flex peak just makes it so that on the right side of your body, you expose a little bit less of your arm, and you're able to get that info much easier and much deeper as well. So nice tech from him, understanding some of the best stuff you can use in the game. Smoke on this line. I mean, this is something that Core was running before, so they should know that this is an option that they have to face. Actually, this is how Core lost to Thrifty, I'm pretty sure. It's the exact same thing, but Smoke, the difference is he stepped back. Hold up.
I'll take a step back, all right. At least Smoke gets 1 for 1. Both duelists removed, so you have to do this slowly but surely from front to back. And Derek takes 2 with them, but at 5 HP, he's the last one to fall. And SRB will claim their anti-eco, only bringing 2 weapons though into that bonus. Hey, at least one of them is a Guardian.
Yeah, able to lock it down still, but that was so close to being the same type and flavor of Thrifty that SRB threw down on the A site on the last half. Both these teams have not given up. I don't think anyone really has full control of the game just yet. It's nice to see SRB chain these 2 rounds together at least and have a true bonus coming in on this next one.
Imagine when Smoke gets going. I mean, he's basically guaranteeing himself a kill every round, but if he was hitting these one shots with the Marshall, that would have been scary. Core quick to react and to pounce. Now a 1-3-1 from Core, and to kind of assess the field with their rifle advantage and getting through the X's setup. But what else is the setup? You kind of expect only one to be in vents, and you walk kind of into a crossfire, and it's a Guardian from Satellite to slow down the pace here of Core.
Last back to get out of the way. Very good value from SRB so far. Infiltrator not here, so kind of getting through some of these angles. The process for Core will be interrupted. They'll have to find another way to make it through without light speed. Kumi will be the solution here. Flash is available to curveballs, but has to get into that position to be able to use them. Look at SRB moved way far back, or letting Core take the first turn.
We've marked Nature, who just dogged up to find Moose, who now can't make any progress on that lurk, but through ramps, Core will see if they can dislodge this backline here of SRB. Now, after giving up mid and X has seen no action in towards B, they're pretty confident this Core push is gonna end at A. At 4v5, you have the weapon advantage, but not the amount of members. Now crossing through the smokes blindly. Core not met by any contact until Xander lights them up like pins and goes for a strike. And Core will not be spared any justice from SRB, keeping all their weapons and keeping the streak going.
Why I left in the gutter when it comes to the scrappiness right now. I feel like SRB just have things on lock, or a bit more creative in their angles, have a bit better of an understanding and a call against how Core want to move. 4K from Xander there, 14 and 8 on the Astra, has done so good on post plants and 1v1s, and this hold. Look at the tap dancing, look at the movement.
And that was the bonus converted, so my bad. Yeah, SRB can ditch those, and huge for them to know how to leverage those weapons in that moment, and to not even let Core get any plants on A anymore. That's really tough to not get any executions going, but we'll see if they just death ball into B what success Core will have over there.
Boom. Nope.
Oh.
To answer your question, nope.
Nope.
Outlaw's ready to go. Yeah, even Moose with the... He's trying his best for the lurk. You have to understand the stars sometimes. You just like staring at stars, right? There's one on the ground. I stare at it. I get distracted. It's all good.
I found
Big thing. Flex speaking again. Exa is just so good at being in these chaotic situations, finding the angles, and again, SRB linking up just like Core on their defense, taking down an easy Thrifty.
Yeah, SRB kind of taking over. They got 4 in a row. If Core don't win this next one, it's not looking good. But at least that means the casters did not totally curse in the predictions. I think all of us went SRB in that moment. And SRB, I mean, this was part of them taking down, this map was part of taking down EG Academy in the quarterfinals, 13-8. So this was a very strong look out of them with Satellite and Smoke, who definitely were at the top of the leaderboards. Now you got a one-sided op from Smoke instead of the Marshall this time. I think you don't mess with Garage after knowing Smoke's been over there.
We're able to lock it down for a period longer. Speed though from Core switched up a little bit. Trailblazers stop it down, but then they adjust their pace as well to slow. That being said, if Core slow down now, it acts as a bit of hesitancy rather than control. Not going to be able to move into the A side just yet. Showstoppers here as well. Run it back. And here comes the rocket into the extremity. Nothing going to be found, and Exa is going to be solved as well.
Kumi doesn't die to the showstopper and managed to kill someone in heaven. Talk about value from a run it back. And Core maintain that space, and they'll be forward into screens. And what a spot from Infiltrators. Got backup from Kumi. No ins from SRB. And I think Smoke would, I mean, you could afford 1,000 ops, but probably not needing to sacrifice it. Find a different, wow, the Bandit. Backhands fly there. Interesting. But hey, that's signs of life from Core after this would be their first round win of the half.
It's nice. I thought that second phase might have been just a bit too slow, but being able to go for a paranoia light speed play onto heaven and then use that pressure to get back on the site with a run it back. Amazing from Core. I'm wondering if they can repeat this. The biggest thing for Core right now is, you know, a lot of the best rounds they have, ultimates are being used to get them these wins. Not having run it back is going to be a problem. Xander is going to be dying there, but he has so much money to be able to buy anyway, so I think it's fine. The biggest thing for Core is just how do you play without those ults? One of the things that you mentioned at the very start, Lemon, which I think is perfect for Core, energy. It's all about energy in this match between these teams. I don't want them to lose this energy. I don't mind them losing a round if they keep their energy.
Running face first into the op is always a nice lady luck blessing into Core if they can avoid Smoke at all costs. So there's a lot that's going to go into that. Infiltrator can give them a heads up. He hasn't afforded the op yet, as Core kind of baiting out with even that Phoenix wall to get the orb, to get some suppression out of SRB. But Xander's playing in a very safe position, and now the dash is cut close right, and Satellite is smoked off. Xander doesn't mind. He is feasting right now with a triple. Satellite emerges when you needed him to the most, and the spike is down, and so is the rest of Core. A 4K for Xander. He is having a fire series so far.
The Great Wall of Xander can stretch from the A side all the way to the B side. This guy, no matter what the position is. Oh, what is this, by the way? Playing in front of the smoke. Nobody's seeing him as they all go towards the right side. This guy is impenetrable, man. Over and over again. 19-8, another cosmic divide. You're saying a great series. He's keeping their dreams alive in this one, along with that as well. Remember, this is one of the knockout games. You got to make sure that if you're in this match right now, you're giving it your all. Xander's giving that and some. He's been winning 1v1s. Here comes that tried and tested play. No paranoia this time. And as a result, Smoke gets a chance to talk a little bit back towards Infiltrator. They've actually from the shadow towards the right side and have double control all the way over and towards back heaven. Starting to get solved. Double fly is there. Infiltrator goes forward as well, and his namesake is able to penetrate through spawn. These two players take down and dismantle the 5 on SRB.
Just There's seconds into the map or in the round, and Core have already taken ramps and Heaven, have shot the backline of SRB, have denied the op out of smoke, and knowing that he used dashes, Core just were relentless at going all the way to the defender's side of the map. And hey, what a clean round for Core, but that's only going to be their second round of the half, and they still have a lot of catching up to do.
We talked about the ultimates. If you blur the names in this round and show me this and say, hey, which VCT team plays this round? Leviathan, when they have the From the Shadows, always put it in that back corner, have their other duelists walk up that left side as fast as possible, put the pressure down, and in the chaos, Omen, or in this case Flya, is able to find so much value. So they pull a book or pull a strat right out of what is the hottest book right now on Split, and as a result are in there. From the Shadows becoming one of the lethal ultimates available for Core's playbook now. That being said, still 3 rounds behind SRB, and even if SRB lose a round, they are unshaken. Xander, 2 different 4Ks on this half. The rest of the team locking it down. You're mentioning Smoke every single round as a threat. They have so many layers to this that take ultimates to decipher.
There's been flashes of brilliance from Core side, whether it's Flya multi-kills, like Derek being consistent and knowing how to play his life, Moose closing out important rounds. Like, Core need more of that, because Xander is just having more pop-offs than not. SRB up to 11, and just Hexa alone in mid. It's more of a conservative position now out of Satellite, who's not going to get marked by the haunt there from Derek.
SRB is having a lock on every single round so far. Core are only able to enter and get a win if they have a key. A key will always be an ultimate for them. It's been From the Shadows. It's been Run It Back. Now they have the conversion pads. I think it's a harder ability to land though, and to get maximum value with, especially if your team on the enemy side is spread apart. Here comes conversion pads. Get them off the backside. The op is active though, and Smoke finds the first pick. The rest of the team floods in, and a pause as they get a semblance of control.
Many smokes being layered now. Fly, his duty will be to watch that. Even with the paranoia, SRB are all flooding through one side, and Nature has no flashes. It's really just gonna be about waiting for the smoke to expire and for smoke to get activated. An infiltrator won't even let them get going. You have the Cosmic Divide to seal it in, and SRB, it's like they've set up their own jail. Now Nature's the one with the op. Smoke didn't even get to make some moves. Flya holds on to the top of the site, and there's only one remaining, and it's Nature.
Nature on a swivel, 360, 180, every single angle solved as his Vandal gets out of control and maybe almost jumps out of his hands. Starts it off with the op, comes in with a crazy 3K. I need to see that replay back to watch how Flya got solved. Again, this is the top frag of Core, who's been so snappy, hasn't really missed, bar like 1 kill, which was so hard head to head against Smoke. That is a crazy play from Nature, who's what, 7-12 before this. Mega negative, just being a support so far. Insane value.
And he's just an on-site machine. I remember when he was even defending B, so many when he was attacking B, so many of those rounds were secured because Nature just never let go of his grip of that round. But Smoke, oh, he's been in the spot before he's actually getting spammed. He has to make a move, and he dashes out. Great first pick as well. Deny one of the smokes that Core can utilize to secure a post plant. So big pick for Smoke.
Moose's screen's even real though. He's already put down his toxic orb. Actually, he has the orb to play with still in his inventory. So I guess he gets to play that controller role a bit more. That being said, no smokes active and an op alive on the map, you are scared. There's a hunter ready with the scope waiting for you to walk through.
It's match point, and it's 5v4 for SRB, and Smoke goes back towards screens. So if Core just head first to try and get a sell this fake with prowlers, but Core now are going to be heading towards B, and the Seekers are just going to give up the whole fake.
Run It Back comes in on the opposite side of the map, solved by Smoke. He completely extinguishes the flame of what was the fake now completely. All the way on B now. Look at the glove that's forming to just catch Core off guard. Infiltrator gone. Exa finds the mid lurk. It's all on Moose. Up against Knives. Carves off Smoke. 1v3. 7 different angles. He gets solved. For the first map, SRB have a lockdown on it. Kumi, 14 seconds to make a miracle. Something out of this thin air, and no, the team links up, take him down. SRB the better 5 on split. The first map win.
6-6 half and 13-8. Only 2 rounds for core is so insane with just how good they've looked throughout the stage as a core, as a unit. But just this fake never materialized. It didn't get activated fast enough. And then when the Seekers and SRB just had a good read on what the situation was. Kumi was left in the dust, couldn't help Moose, who was still trying to plant. Time was running out, and SRB showed a clean split on Core's map pick of all things, which up next is Breeze. So if you guys thought split was really fast and hectic, we're going to be slowing things down on Breeze, and now the ops are going to be even more important.
Here we go. The counteract to the op. Core Gaming are all in to just completely stop Shopify Rebellion Black in their tracks. ISO is here. He makes it very difficult for you to play your own game. That being said, SRB are in the business to lock things down, finish it all off. Lemon Kiwi, they've got momentum on their side.
And hey, Core needed a change on this composition. Let him cook surely, or let him get cooked, because SRB are on series point. And after Core lost 13-7 to Division 1 in Swiss, 13-7. Core needed, this is one of their weaker maps, and hey, they're trying to leverage their strengths. Infiltrator gets to play fast, gets to play loose. He has Kumi that can assist and kind of match that and even provide a shield so that the front to back looks better. But SRB aren't necessarily going to have the Sentinel or just really anything to try and slow this down besides bullets, which they seem to be cooking up a hail of them right at this A choke point. Big stack here for Core. The army marches through. Smoke gets marked, but the flash from Satellite, he sets himself up for success and brings us down to a 2v2.
So about that counter, about that shield. I mean, that's one of the best places for ISO to be able to fight. I'm surprised that Core stayed that silent. They're kind of playing like they don't have the ISO on the roster. You have to kind of show your cards first a little bit, but then be active with them.
Where the heck is Moose? Like
he
just
a way to get behind him.
Mid. He went all the way through mid by himself and went through the defender spot, and now he's here. So I mean, Eric had to wait for that, but
what is Moose going to think about the positions of SRB? He's thinking they might have gambled all the way over towards the B side. He's cleared everything. They're gambling B the other way from mid. Meanwhile, Core, they've sent Derek up through main, about to get the A plant. These guys might be able to save all the way at window. They are miles away from where the spike is. Still checking B. The read's wrong. At least Nature has a pep in his step to get towards the side to where the spike actually is. It's planted behind Pyramid Lemon. This is going to be difficult.
All teams were so lost in the sauce on where each other were. Thankfully, the spike will unite everybody once and for all for the first pistol of map 2. Derek already marking a dart being thrown from main as Nature, Recon. Derek doesn't care if he's marked, but also info if you don't know where that secondary is. Derek's just playing his life. He's going to let the spike tick away as Xander gets on the defuse immediately, and here comes Derek. He's just been on a 3K. He's on a rampage. And Moose just gets to sit by, explore the map, kill nothing, and win the round. So.
Yeah. The Moose is definitely loose on Breeze. And again, it's one of these maps where even if you have a nice play that equals out towards your team having a bit more control, if you don't fill the gaps, Elbow can win you the game. Crazy play over here too. That unfortunate reload towards the very end, even if you're on that gravity pull, not going to be a problem at all. That easy sheriff shot from Derek to equal out the round. 3 kills in the business too to start things off against Satellite's equal as well.
Gotta go.
Be nice for Satellite to get the, it's nice for him to get the kills because hey, run it back and to be online as soon as now to round 3. Satellite got plot armor, but he's also absolutely fried. So
oh, the mega walk down with classics finding value. Only one person dying in that super peak as well. They're gonna repeat right back into it. They're gonna fight into the classics one by one somehow and get solved. Pushing towards the window side, picking up the weapons that they've earned so far. SRB might get solved. No, they just win the Thrifty on Breeze with classics.
This is like deja vu of split again, but like it's Core with the pistol and SRB Thrifty the second round, like giving a whole new name to run and gun or run it down. And You kind of caught Satellite out there as well. Interesting choice. And now we have ourselves an even game, I guess. Satellite, unfortunately, not living longer than he did, means no run it back in round 3, like my crystal ball would have thought. And now QOR definitely reinvigorated. Well, I would say SRB reinvigorated. So now they have the better weapons for a distance duel.
Shouldn't be having these duels go their favor either way. ISO is just made up to be able to actually help with all this stuff. Kumi comes in non-shielded, maybe wants to use it for the rest of the round, and also doesn't want to give away when this team actually does entry. A burst is needed after this pillar, though. They need to start fighting forward. Skipping on the para, gonna be able to hit him, but at the same time, fought all the way through. Derek by himself, everybody kind of fighting individually. Moose against 3. I don't know about this one, my friends. Yeah, you can't level up that hard. They do get the spike down, which is huge. It was the thrifty round. It's all right from QOR.
All good. You know, only so much Sheriffs can do, but the fact that Xander just got the slow walk onto the site, like unmarked, catching this Omen mid-util. Xander gets blinded, still is killing people. Like, we already saw some gaps in the game plan when it came to QOR's map pick of split on their attack. Like, nothing was really materializing in terms of getting on the site. And I think getting thriftied by SRB was definitely a punch in the gut morally and also in the economy. So I'd like to see QOR, you know, get their bearings and stabilize. And when you have Derek having a Hunter's Fury so quick after getting a 3K in the pistol, that's something to work off of.
Might be able to activate it, but it looks like this round's gonna be very slow. Moving up elbow. The burst here from QOR is gonna be a problem. Neon slides, the ISO shield, and yes, the op is online right now, but this is why Kumi has this pick. You know that Smoke wants to op, so you have this shield to be able to bolster up that front line and not get picked off by it. It could be anywhere right now. Flash re-clear from Satellite. Not sure if he saw the amount of people that are here right now. Flya locks him down. He solo ults this for some reason. I mean, egos are on fire from SRB.
Because SRB are not running a Viper, like they can't just wall off the entirety of mid. They had to owl drone just to make sure QOR weren't taking advantage of that, because that's how Moose just got all the way behind them on that 1 2v2 pistol. So it's a pretty big gap in the map for SRB to leave behind, and they're trying to make up for it, and the run it back is a big sacrifice for that.
Sacrifice on their side now for QOR. It's all on Kumi. Has the entire kit to deal with. Smoke is on the site as well. How much value can he find? Shield active. Contingency moving through. Undercut. Not going to be there for the moment. Smoke confused as to where to aim that rifle. Xander, though, is the one just solving the entire round. No trade. This Smoke is insane to carve up the entire site. And yeah, you've gained the site now. It's been split in half by Harbor. They've got layers on this retake. Not even retake, a hold from SRB, and QOR. Ash said they were cooking. I feel like they spawned in burnt. I'm smelling smoke right now. Lemon QE, this is not looking too good.
You got Derek with the spike doing pirouettes, trying to figure out where the threat is coming from. That's when you know your whole read on the site is so cooked, and it's because of Xander. He just cracks that shell into pieces, and this harbor wall is not helping QOR navigate these fights when they don't have their own wall to kind of work around. At least it's Moose's, and it can't make all kinds of shapes. You got Kumi and Infiltrator that, well, these are choices of all time for duelists, and it's not happening yet. Doesn't mean never.
Yeah. Still, even from SRB's side of things, you have an op, and then you're dropping like 6 smokes down on the site. You saw how confused Smoke was. He had nowhere to aim. You really have to just rely on the solo play of Xander over there from both teams. It's genuinely so messy. I mean, what is this game devolving into? Slowed down now for the side of QOR. Derek trying to find whatever he can with the scope on A as they retake towards the orb. Again, some of the equalizer ults that are going to be coming in. We've got the kill contract, overdrive, lots of violence, momentum, and speed from the side of QOR. Denied the shield again. SRB do not give them any sense of value. Paranoia, undercut, shield, everything. You can't do anything for QOR.
Yeah, you saw the Infiltrator was trying to use some speed to get into the site, and then one molly from Satellite completely messes up their tempo. They can't get the most out of this neon kit. The wall from Kumi gets disrespected even the previous round from Harbor and Xander killing everything. So Core's best chance is to hit A and hope Xander isn't there and to try and get past the util before it comes out. And not a good look for Core so far, but you know, better late than never. And it's not never yet.
I hope it's not never yet. It is just a few rounds and a couple of thrifties stacked on top of each other. This is the round though. One orb away from either really fast dashes with the electricity or the kill contract to isolate one of the sides over here. Walking in is Kumi. Hunter's Fury coming in as well. That shield not solved. Can't recycle it though. He's using his Naira mag and can't scale up. Infiltrator by himself does find the flick though. Kill contract locked in. Shorty to take down the shield maybe. Kumi does win against Smoke. I'm gonna refresh that shield. This is the round that Core was playing for. They look strong. Every ability locked down. Infiltrator speed gets all the way up the left lane as well. That is why this comp was picked.
What a round for Kumi. Kills Nature in the midst of that smoke. Great plot armor in that case. Kill contract Smoke, who had the op, takes the op out of the equation, and things just are buttery smooth when you don't have Smoke in the fight like that. Exa is poking and prodding on the flank now, which Core are gonna take note of. Moose also picked up the op that Smoke dropped. And Core, this is something to work off of, especially when you're able to maintain all these weapons and the armor with it.
Absolutely. Very cool round from Core, and yeah, EXO will find a bit of value, but they really scaled well on that one. It's a good round entirely from the team.
Oh, op drop. They don't want the op anymore. Okay, interesting, because I was kind of mentioning Infiltrator versus Smoke, but I think being on the Neon or not having maybe a decent second opera, it's just not a style they want to play. They want to be able to play fast, and the op would just kind of hinder them. So Moose ends up dropping it. Maybe Infiltrator wants to go in with an ult next. Not sure.
Definite potential to lock up on their attack set again. I want to ask you, do you think Core can make that round happen again? I can answer for you. I can answer.
Okay.
No,
yeah.
not
okay.
now. That took three. That took so many ultimates. Kill contract, Hunter's Fury. That's the big thing, right? Right now, when it comes to Core, to have these rounds work down for the moment, you need so much power in these ultimates. I'm happy they have translations, but again, something you pointed out last series, Lemon. How many rounds did they win on their attack half?
Like two, maybe.
Two, yeah. And they needed ultimates for it. This time, contingency coming in, reckoning to stop everyone. Sightline, slow them down. SRB, just do it with one for now. Completely flooding over, clogging up the chances for Core to move in. Extra playing inside the cove, can harden it if he wants to as well. This guy is so dynamic in that last map, playing Viper, wrestling people in his own smokes out of heaven. Is able to just have a playground on Breeze with this Harbor.
Insane timing of the reckoning, because it was as the two duelists were making their way in. Infiltrator and Kumi are cut off from the rest of the squad, and then Satellite gets to unleash on everybody else. At least you were able to also address the duelists. You don't just want to break them up and have your focus distraught. So it was a fantastic reaction from Exa and the rest of the squad to just choke stuff A main. And now Core don't have a weak site to really hit, because both have met quite a resistance.
Overdrive, get the Owl drone off, and get denied. Straight to the face from Nature. Storm Surge to buy some time. Contingency on the left side will get wasted, as the Undercut has no more abilities to stop now. Xander, don't get value. Xander, not like this. Give him a chance, Xander, please. You want an interesting BO3, don't you? You don't want Core going down like this. Satellite, don't be a part of the problem. Guys, SRB, you can't put them in the grave now.
Oof, I think that's all I gotta say. Like, it's because it's SRB commanding the map and having a really good game plan. It's clean across the board. The spike is down, so we can just talk about the future. Kumi only has 100 credits, so anything you could achieve for forcing repurchases out of a bunch of people with like 7K credits always helps, but the economy for Core is in shambles, especially because they don't have a loss streak right now going. And they gave us signs of hope, but even SRB without ults, they can still win.
Core might be the best team when they have ultimates online. The issue is it happens once every like 6 rounds. So they're only winning like 2 or 3 rounds a half. I need to see some type of value when the ultimates aren't there. Or at the same time, segment your ultimates a little bit so you're not using so many in one round, right? It took them Hunter's Fury and Kill Contract in the last one. Maybe use them one at a time. I mean, I'm not the coach. The coach needs to say something right now in this timeout for Core, because the order of operations, the ladder they have set up is not reaching too high with this composition right now.
And it's not even the people, the talent. There's never been a doubt in Core's capabilities. I mean, how much they've all achieved in their own individual careers, to how they've come together, how far they've gotten into playoffs. There was never a doubt on where their ceiling could be, but their composition is holding them so far back. Infiltrator can't ult without getting shot in the face. He can't slide in without a molly at his feet. Kumi and him have to somehow link up. And then if it's not them going in, then it's the rest getting cut off. And it's so hard for Core to enable this double duelist when you just have scans and you can't get Flya has no assists. So it's not like he's blinding and giving them kills. It's a team that just can't help each other.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I want to talk about. I'm glad you're bringing it up. Neon, ISO, how do you play together, right? Contingency walks. I feel like Neon could just like walk faster than that contingency wall half the time. So like there is no synergy. That overdrive, if you had a jet dashing in with Infiltrator, could be a wave. If you had them bursting at the same time as well, if it was any other duelist with dashes, amazing. Flashes are not going to be there either from the combination. Again, A main, starting things off from Core. It's a 5-man through the extremity. And again, a push like this against Harbor should be possible, but at the same time, a well-placed Storm Surge stops it all. He's got a second line of that Molly coming in that not the entire team can't skip, maybe just Neon. It is a bit of a problem. Everything on Kumi right now if he can make that space.
I don't know if someone grabbed the orb yet. Kumi's one away from the kill contract. And hey, those ults, man, they could really do something for Core. And maybe they're just more of a defensive-oriented team. The Owl drone down. X are not going to be chased down yet. It's not like Infiltrators on Jet, so they got to take their time with it. Navigating through the smokes, the fire, and the flames. Infiltrator gets 2. And now takes the shovel out to dig out this back line, and Moose will crunch from the front. So it's, hey, you make the most out of a situation that looked really difficult. 2v2. Smoke quietly is spotting. Just Flya looking the other way towards mid. And Moose has to be solo in a 1v2. He has no idea where Xander is. And he's right there.
Insult to injury, man. The ultimate taken away at the same time. And I know we are, distracted, I feel like, by the ISO pick as well, and really wanted to break it down in terms of what Core is doing right and wrong. I still want to give my props over to SRB and the way they're playing this game. That hole from Exa, the wall comes in 2 different tiers that the enemy team has to cross. It slows you down. It masks the dart that is able to get a wall bang in for the rest of the team. It really delays the rest of Core coming in. Not just him, the rest of the players. Xander, so good as an anchor. Nature, so good in finding these flanks and getting there in support as well with the dart. The entire SRB machine on Breeze right now is a menace to be dealt with, man. It is a thrifty, but still not even giving Moose a chance to talk at the moment. Covering his lurk lane is a feat that SRB keep just getting over and over again.
Next is just going for a contact play off of a stack of Core that even off the pistol they like to roll out as a unit. So the way that SRB are spotting mistakes and knowing that it's gonna happen more, which makes them more confident, which makes SRB more likely to be aggressive. And now X is so deep also into A main that if Core re-clear through this, the spike could get dropped here if Flya doesn't win this 1v1. So this all could ride on Flya being self-sufficient, because he's not gonna know that he is here. Ooh. Flya wins against Exa. That's massive.
Oh, but Satellite, broom sweep, mop the floor, whatever you want to call it, is able to just take care of a lot of Core coming in now. 2v3, Derek low HP, no ultimates to be able to segment this one. Another challenge for Core.
Flya also gets an upgrade to a rifle when he came in with a pistol. He leaves with a spike plan and more as Flya with the recon does place the crosshair pretty well and does what he can to do damage. Derek versus Smoke. One more injured than the other, but Smoke looks the wrong way and it's a thrifty. I can't believe Core ended up with a win out of all that.
pushes it across the line. And I was starting to wonder myself, what if Core's win cons for this map are just to be able to get 4 rounds on the attack side? That thrifty could be huge for them. If they do have more stuff cooked, let's say on defense with this ISO for the retake, with the burst on Neon, this might be trouble for SRB. They want to be winning these rounds if they are the team that are in max control. They cannot be losing a thrifty like this. That being said, they're not going to be set so far back on money. They have so much to be able to work with and 2 big ultimates if they don't want to use them.
I was worried about the psychological damage that SRB were doing at some points too, like that exit pick and shooting bodies, like shutting down the Moose pit when he was trying to clutch. And oh, this is a deep TP from Fly, and he's gonna stick it, and he's going in with Infiltrator. We asked who was gonna keep up with this duelist, and it's an Omen that has the ult. And look, there is some panic, some fear into SRB. Smoke unbothered, he keeps control of A main, but now there's nuisances, there's flankers. SRB dislodged this push, and Core back to square one.
That's huge from Satellite. Right before being kidnapped, runs it back. So the kill that happens from Kumi means nothing. No orb from it, no value whatsoever. It's Derek now who has to find a link with Kumi to be able to win this round. Reckoning an option for Exa, but they don't hear the spike being planted, so the value will not be guaranteed.
This was also a 4v2 for SRB, so Core, do they have that dog in them? Because that's what I'm wondering. I was like, psychological damage to clutch through something like this. Now you're handing the Uno reverse card to SRB. The spike, though, variable of time on their side. The reckoning will pave the way as SRB step into the arena and just sprinting into the middle of action is Satellite. And even through the blind Core 1v1 to decide it all, it's Kumi with a 4K.
Finally getting alive. Doesn't matter what happened in the last rounds. He's winning his kill contracts and at the same time saving the rounds for his team. I'm surprised nobody goes over towards the right side from SRB to full clear. What was that reckoning? Even with an opening from smoke like this, their paranoia, not even that, the paranoia they cause from the Omen teleporting all the way into their spawn in combination with just the clutch factor of Kumi and Derek, it's just enough to be able to push them forward, making what was a dominant half from SRB close to now a 7-5.
I just can't believe SRB lost a 4v2. And you had Reckoning. You had Exa in prime position. What is going on? Smoke getting picks too. Core, they are not done yet. Now the wall, the drone, taking a step back, but going in is Xander in nature. The Hunter's Fury tries to find its mark. There is some information gained, but so much loss out of Core. Another familiar 4 versus 2. It's Moose. Oh, on the other side of the box. Gets marked, gets downed, and Derek is the final victim. 8-4 as SRB, I mean, looking like they almost had a flawless defense. I can't lie.
At halftime in that last round, I think they forgot about Xander. They were very happy in how the rounds were going, and going back into B against who is the GOAT right now of anchoring. I mean, both sides on split, 4Ks, both sides, should I say, 4Ks, and in this one as well, immaculate defense from Xander, who I think has been impenetrable in the series so far. 8-4, SRB, Core. What options do they have on defense here, Lemon?
They got Moose.
Yeah.
Back to you. I mean, yeah, there's like delays, and he's completely centering his wall around B to be self-sufficient. He's not on like the Cypher that we were kind of noting, and some were fans of, some were not, because hey, it means he could be really selfish with the Cypher. And now the wall is to delay, to kind of bait, and he's gonna just let that wall ride. He's not even gonna have it out, and he's completely alone, and he's marked by the recon. The chase is on, and Moose, he's trying to take one for the road. The Harbor seals his fate. Infiltrator tries to trade, and Derek looms for his moment amidst the smoke, and SRB are hunting. They're also focused on the back line where Kumi and Fly are coming from, and it's basically a perfect pistol. SRB are hyped.
Was trying to go for that ego play, Sheriff and wall combination. No delay for the rest of the team. I think some of the best success we've seen from Viper on this site is some of the stuff that Scuba is able to do with a poison orb on the back, just to be able to delay more and more and more, but not specking into the orb or the snake bite either. It's a bit of a, you know, a tough play. Again, if he lands the shots, I'd be saying something completely different right now, but the fact is he didn't, and now SRB have a leg up in this one. The biggest thing when it's a, you know, disparaging half, when one team's winning more of the rounds, the pistol round matters so much. This 9-4, you need the momentum here from Core. They haven't found much, and they're not even forcing back into this one. So 10-4 going to be a very tough road for the team if this round goes the way it should.
Recovering it.
Old classic save. Smoke on a signature Marshall can go for a bunch of one-shots. Xander's getting pushed towards spawn, and Core been known on these lower buys to just stick together. And SRB, they got to do the same kind of buddy system. Smoke and Xander getting pushed towards spawn. The steps are loud, and Xander and Smoke are louder. It's hunting season, and Core want to end this quickly. No flawless, but basically still feeling that way. 10-4 is an insane scoreline.
Look at some foolishness happening on the B side. There's some silliness maybe. There was a crossfire that was not able to kill a drone. So that drone was able to see the right side fly over the left as well, which is what made that B fight a lot easier for SRB to take. All good. Sometimes you're locked into the angle. Maybe sometimes the right clicks whiff. This is where Core has to not have any of that happen and needs to turn things around.
Remember, this is a rematch of the Stage 1 Grand Finals where Smoke was part of Core. And ever since Infiltrator joins Core, and through time and through tribulations, look at where SRB have truly grown as a team. But I guess you just step into the Infiltrator nest and you're surprised you get stung.
Last player standing.
A shield swing as well. This thing's gonna hurt from both sides. Perhaps leave a scar or a bruise. That's what Core hopes for. Stopping some of this action from SRB coming through, making them hesitate a bit more and not be as confident. They have some really crazy angles and some cool defensive setups right now, at least on the rifle round. So nice counterplay from them. Good proactivity and I guess gumption from Infiltrator to stay inside that cove, as I feel like SRB were going to use it to really dismantle that entire B hold.
I like the gumption. I like that word because SRB are just jumping in. They're really going for silly stuff.
Yeah.
And they can get away with that. There's only so much insurance, so much cushion, though, in terms of the score line that now I think with the rifles, it's time for SRB to put the B, get back to business, as they're going to leave the spike behind. No business for that. It's going to be a bloodbath to get into B.
They have to really go for mid control up against ISO. I do like playing the station on this map as well. He's really good at just undercutting the mains when people are coming out, getting lots of value. The walk down from Moose, unlooked at, not cleared whatsoever. He gets absolute value, and the undercut makes the team easy enough to pick apart for him as well. Hot knife through butter type beat for Core when they're on the flank like that. 3v4 now. Kumi just has to stay alive, play for information, not die. Xander also found, so this attack from SRB is starting to fall to a complete halt.
Wow. Hey, Exa actually catches Infiltrator lacking there, and X is in a 1v3. And when he's left late in these rounds, it's, I wouldn't say it's not winnable, but he's more about doing damage than I think pulling off anything in a miracle. 44 seconds though, he's got a spike, and this is something that Kumi is watching, but also there's a lot on these two players' plate. And Exa could have a moment. Kumi didn't go for the shot, didn't go for the kill, and now Exa has a chance to fight back.
30 seconds left.
Too many variables. Linking together is also pretty good from the side of Cole right now. Everybody in tunnel or half wall. Kumi just swung with his move for the moment. Cove activated so Exa can get across. Nice try. Good confidence from Kumi to be in that angle as well. Still giving away a few 1v1s, but at the same time, you want to keep that spirit of Core alive.
And the economy is certainly not alive for SRB. After 2 losses now, huge moment for Moose. How he's able to be self-sufficient and sustain himself, not on a hero not a hero, but on an agent that he doesn't usually play on this map, and to still be composed. There's so much experience on Core's side to, it's not just about knowing how to win and knowing how to overcome bad maps or to strengthen maps you're bad at, but knowing how to lose and to still continue playing like you're not. And I think Core have really shown that they've lessened the mistakes, and they know how to still clutch.
That's very important. They really need to make sure that they're linking these rounds together in the best ways, getting these ultimates online and using them as well to start to pile drive more rounds up against SRB. I think for SRB being a little bit silly, rounds where they're definitely set up in position to be in such a good spot, just throwing things away entirely. I'm not sure why. Could just be the happiness of being so far ahead, but at the same time, would they be this far ahead if they weren't this confident? There's so many questions you could ask. well, when a team starts to throw a few rounds, what they definitely have in terms of how they were playing. Now they're kind of rocked in on a Thrifty, and Infiltrator with the overdrive could just laser them apart if need be. They'll anchor or just look towards the B side to bully for the moment. Could be a fake and a pivot back over into A.
Yeah, SRB definitely testing the waters of what they can get away with. Shenanigans, if you want to call it that. Moose tucked into the corner, and the drone will mark him. Maybe Derek went unnoticed, and the Molly forces Moose out the open. And wow, what a shot with the Sheriff through the smoke. An upgrade now for SRB is at their feet, and Derek has to just fade back into the shadows.
They pulled every single player off the A site, already sprawled in and planting, and they haven't lost a single member of their team. This fake has cost them nothing. Exa has moved into their spawn already. Sheriff in tow. The thing is, SRB just don't have the guns. They have to get these forward positions. They must delay. One way. Overdrive. Gonna go on the right side. Sheriff not gonna be able to land the shot. Shield now active. Continuously moving forward as it guides the Neon to get into position. All the way up in main though, already on the spike. Tap coming through, flash in play. Infiltrator gonna be seeing the light for the moment. Sheriff's in tow. The group shot gonna be coming in. Satellite, one of the only people with a rifle. Rainbow in the feed. No angle for Smoke to be able to save the round. Valiant effort from SRB, but it's not enough. Core get their 7th.
I think SRB got to give more respect now to Infiltrator now that it's not as easy to try and delay and stop him when he's on a retake angle. Like X is hoping to find some timing, being front and center with a Sheriff against a sprinting Neon and the rest, and also she had overdrive. So SRB, they had us in the first half of that round. I'm not gonna lie, but hey, I think we gotta lock in if you're SRB with these rifles.
That position as well. I wish the rest of the team came up with Exa and we're able to just try to stop these guys from pushing forward and pushing in. Kumi with the undercut ready to try to make some type of play. It's not gonna happen. Now this aimed properly will take the knives offline, but it misses a little bit. Flya finding value. Hunter's Fury active as well, but that swings and misses. Kumi is able to receive that smoke pressure and is still pushing forward with these kills.
Derek has not been this picture. That's even stranger for me because it's usually an Infiltrator, and he has the Hunter's Fury, not feeling like they need to invest the ultimate. Core are confident after denying so much backspace out of SRB, and look at Infiltrator heating up. Core are back into this after being down 10-4. There's only two rounds that separate these two teams.
Cars 3 all over again. McQueen is fading. SRB, who had this lead, is starting to come right back in with the pack right now. Core, we talked about it. How many attack rounds do they really need? Where is their special sauce? It seems like their retakes on defense are actually very good. That shield in tandem with Infiltrator pushing out so far forward. Kumi being essentially the super bait guy with the shield up as well as the second entry is so powerful. He's that kill contract available for retake as well, completely nullifying what could be utility from SRB early on the A main side as well. This is trouble for SRB. They need to find some form of gap here.
And we're talking about what does Core have on defense. It's not a defensive oriented team, and it's not like, oh, it's Moose's walls that are making this huge difference. It's just how they navigate this defense. These first picks are massive. You take advantage of SRB being in mid, you give them that space for a reason, and Xander is out on his own. X is looking at double doors. These are some really tough choke points to try and get through with what they have.
They could just supplement this round with a few ultimates if they want, once they hit the site. That being said, try to solve 2 people backside's gonna be a problem for SRB.
Oh man, now the Hunter's Fury comes out from Derek just to slow down this game for SRB, and it strikes down the spike, and Xander has to pick up the pieces. Satellite trying to go for some heroics with just the Sheriff, at least get some of the attention away from mid left, so that the spike can go back somewhere else. But Core are about to close the gap, and this is an insane comeback.
Yeah, I have to hand it off to Core, specifically Derek and Kumi at the moment, who I think have been the soul for the team on every round they've won so far. Really pushing forward and putting just the belief that they can do it on their shoulders over and over again. Kumi fighting forward by himself multiple times in a few of these rounds and getting value. Derek being a part of like almost every single clutch that this team has had so far as well. Like both these players are playing on a level that's crazy. Infiltrator is also there with the kills and the distraction in the first line of entry. This is the round that Core would win on their attack side. This is the most threatening round from the side of SRB. They've got 2 ultimates, 3 actually, to use to attack a site. Rifles are ready to go. I wonder if Core can handle this.
Both teams have 1 timeout each left, and SRB tried to compose themselves and have not won a round since. An Infiltrator confirms 2 in mid. Core winning so many fights in mid just off of contact plays or navigating around these smokes. SRB, what is going to be the game plan? They're just going to try and secure A and tuck themselves into a smoke, but it's mollied for, it's probably satellites, and he has to run it back, but he just can't even activate it. Core are going to kill contract satellite, I believe, leaving Nature out to dry, who can't plant, will fend for himself. Satellite emerges against Kumi, and SRB are back in the driver's seat.
Running back, play it in, kill contract goes awry. This is disaster for Core. They've given away a kill for free with the shield somehow lost. And there's the information from the running back. Breaking through the cosmic divide, through space, through time. Satellite is the strongest one. Nature, there is the backbone. And now he's in a 1v1. Derek, who clutched every single round, does it again.
I don't even know what to say. The SRB low-key should have won that. How? How does that happen? Satellite wins the 1v1, gets caught with the curveball in hand, not thinking that Core was just so layered in their approach. They're so split from each other throughout this map, and SRB are the ones getting out macroed and out team fought. Finally, the last time out for SRB, and this is going to be their last hurrah to get their heads above water.
They got to start swimming. It's not just about getting above water. That round was like getting above water and maybe floating a little bit, but they have to start getting wins on the board. It's just the pistol round and the anti-eco that they locked down. Every single rifle round, every moment of cohesion so far has not gone SRB's way. And it started with like a silly push into a cove. It started with a bit of haphazard gameplay. I think just being a bit too confident in the way they're playing because of how Core played their attack half themselves. But Core has stayed locked in. They've been trying their best so far, and their best just might be enough. Exa dying early in that one before Reckoning could be used as well. That's the best SRB have looked. They're pushed back onto a eco, I feel like, but maybe just one person can't buy so far. It's going to be trouble for them. Their economy is getting thrashed a little bit here.
And throughout Core's history in this stage, it feels like when they've been at deficits, that's when Derek just lights up the kill feed. He has had so many clutch moments as a Sova of all things, and how he's able to get multi-kills. This is multiple times in this game that he's gotten triple kills. And that's what saved Core in a moment that SRB should have seen the light of day. Now there's quite a contest over at the choke, and SRB will just dash their way through. The drone makes it through. Core gonna take a step back, and SRB they have a really bad buy, and they're already down satellite.
Can't find too much value. As soon as this harbor high tide goes down, oh, the barrel and the reaction from Infiltrator almost instant. Slide coming in, this time it connects. The Bandit can't find enough value. The Nature, how much can you affect just the rich bank that's already built up from Core? Nothing, not that much. Not against the shield. It's insane. Bulletproof is Core with Kumi, and bulletproof is their mental in this game, finding the lead against SRB.
Jesus Christ, my mental's cooked. Like, how have SRB not won a single rifle round in this half as a team that looked like they were wiping the floor on defense? This is so insane, and it's Infiltrator. If it's not Derek, it's Infiltrator. We were talking about how this Neon was just not it due to how much was being thrown his way, whether it's the satellite mollies, all the harbor walls, the chaos, and Infiltrator just found his way through it. I don't know how else to describe it. He is alive so deep into these rounds, and he could be what wins it all for Core and send us into a map 3.
It's the Bermuda Triangle of Core right now. Derek, Kumi, and Infiltrator sinking SRB's chances They have to win this round or that might just be game. Their economy completely boomed once more. Sander going for a cheeky challenge. Not going to find much here on this side. Kumi playing with the pit, watching mid. It's a pretty good setup. Surprise angle. I think Smoke can read it so far. He'll have a chance to challenge. And there goes Flya, a breath of fresh air back in SRB's lungs.
How does he know? Like, how does he know? That was insane for Smoke. You weaken up the B site. And SRB are not going to go for any types of fakes. There's no opportunities being created from Xander and Exa. And with the Reckoning, you want to be united on this front. Double swing though, Satellite adjusts and mows him down. And this is perfect for SRB to get their first rifle round going. Better late than never, but I was usually saying that about Core.
The stores are switching on either side.
30 seconds left.
Xander up in window. This position from Kumi should not be cleared. The timing is okay. Totally fine as Xander locks it down. Question is, where are the orbs going now? Do you want to really threaten giving one away for the moment? Doesn't matter really, because the money's really good for this side. So I guess, yeah, for Core, you want to make sure that if you do get at least one kill if you're moose on that onto SRB, you know, it'd be doing a lot. It'd be affecting their economy for the next coming rounds. 11-11 making a wish. You're asking, how did Smoke know that dome from, or the dark cover, the dome smoke on the other side of the things from Core is just a bit too low. Usually it spawns a little bit higher. It's been forced into the ground. As a result, something fishy. Smoke understands if things are different in the moment. So final timeout from Core as well, as they figure out their identity for the last moments of regulation.
7-round win streak for Core. If SRB somehow win this, like, all the Shopify fans need to invoice them for therapy bills. Like, it's actually, it makes for entertainment, but man, is it stressful to watch. And I like this timeout for Core. If it's not just, all right, reaffirming your stance and how you're going to work this overdrive, maybe it's to ice out SRB and not let them get too hyped up. Because I think after breaking that, breaking that 7-round win streak, you're having a lot of copium on the SRB side.
You got to make sure that copium turns into actual pure hope, though, at the same time. The setup here from Core, how has it changed? No Viper on the A side without a pit. Kumi's been playing backside a little bit. Derek's been the guy to rotate. I'm wondering if SRB throw what they have before, a fake, to try to attract the team towards one of the sides. Derek has always been there at the proper time. And Infiltrator's so good at running across that map, ready to overdrive. He's back onto this one way where he found that previous form of value. Nothing to be seen from the attacking side. They're very, very vigilant on how they're moving around right now, not giving anything away.
Op v op, but Smoke is going to try and get vision. They have nature. It's going to owl drone in. The Reckoning will overwhelm Core. They take a step back. They're split from each other. Now united behind Infiltrator. The Hunter's Fury hoping to knock down Core. It's Infiltrator and Moose that close the door. When it comes to this A main, in the blink of an eye, Core are on match point.
Try to do too much, try to reach too far, fly close to the sun, and dies on the beaches of Breeze. SRB, tough for them for the moment. Trying to just combine these ultimates in the widest of ways, not focusing on sight, but a bit more of the people walking in through mid. But they don't have any players there to be able to try to capitalize on the chaos. It's tough, especially with this much pressure on the board. Final round of regulation here. They have a buy. They still have that operator. Let's see what they have without the ultimate.
Standing ahead.
And how much does that hinder SRB, who, or I mean, Breeze, I guess you can play slow, but Smoke is not going to be able to flash and dash and through the smoke and kind of make space quickly, which is the whole point of Jet. And kind of what we've been marking as a big duelist difference between these two sides of how quickly SRB can take space and how you have to watch carefully. Is any misstep from SRB sends us into map 3.
Undercut on the right. One-way play for Infiltrator on the left who can just pop the overdrive. And Derek is the third layer all the way in window. This mid take is disgusting. Drone canceled. Minus 400, by the way. Minus a body on the other side, by the way, as well. Infiltrator's down.
It's winnable if Infiltrator is down. The run it back is reset. You know, Kumi is at the front. And the rest of SRB gonna disengage from that moment.
Yeah, Derek senses something's wrong. They're not going for the strong side on A. Actually, brilliant plays from Moose. The Moose Lurk is active again. He's on the loose. He's made it through A and Sense. Can maybe come on the flank as SRB slowing down. Watch out behind you. Moose can get on the angle.
Flying gets off the angle from having an off, and that gives a chance for SRB to get the same sight line as Derek floors one. SRB have made some headway. The op has been repositioned, and SRB have space to work with. They can ignore the Moose flank.
10 seconds. Hunter's Fury about to be online. The last round of the half. You have to put it down. 6. It misses. Cove almost falls. You have to stick the plant here, and you do. Smoke with the blades is there. No HP for Exa. Core have brought it back. An immaculate comeback on map number 2.
From a 10-4 deficit, from the grave, from a half that made it look so one-sided, to Core winning their first rifle round, win streaking for 7, tying things up, and closing it out here. Insane resilience from Core. Both teams trade their map picks, and we decided all on Lotus, who will make top 4. The craziest map of the day, Shayo.
Genuinely, and I guess Kumi was cooking. We had to give him time to cook. A messy start so far, but the plans on defense were amazing.
Yeah.
Let's get it started. A big comeback coming in from Core, getting their spirits active, which is what we were looking for from the start of the day. Shopify Rebellion Black, I feel like the team that is looked at by the desk and by the scene right now to be able to take control of this one. Should have shoved it in 2 maps, Lemon Kiwi, but here we are in the 3rd one.
Here we are being treated, and both these teams mirror comps but also mirror score lines of how they got here. I mean, SRB 13-6 over SAD in the semifinals, pretty good score line. Core 13-6 against YFT in the lower round 1 of playoffs, so there's some recent footage to go over, there's recent results to rely on, and you gotta hope you have dementia about the previous map if you're SRB, and that's okay. They get to kind of chill out on defense and let their chamber create those opportunities. Like Smoke was fantastic on split when he was able to go for those picks.
You're talking about amnesia, right? Probably of that last map, not dementia.
I just forget it, you know?
Yeah,
whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, just forget it.
Whatever it takes.
A concussion, throw it in. I don't know.
Teams wanting to get right back into these games too. No long breaks whatsoever. Smoke was a big factor, as you were also mentioning, on how things rock down in this map. Outlier on the chamber. Infiltrator already in, by the way. The entire team ready to pop, and I don't think X is going to see it coming. Usually so good on these defensive rounds. Moose, the lurk, again is loose and is able to find 2. Spike down. Core hold momentum from map to map.
Hey, Core on the attack. Their pistols have always look solid, and look, getting ahead of the game. Infiltrator, a guy that was definitely heating up when it came to the neon on Breeze, will be ahead of the game. We're coming through the staircase. SRB cutting through. Infiltrator reacts and floors 2 of them. Combined with this IGL, it's a flawless pistol for Core.
A difference of what we've seen so far. SRB usually the ones to have at least a loud crash and a say inside these pistol rounds. Sometimes deflected and diffused by Core, but this time, not a peep from them whatsoever, not a kill on their side.
Yeah, and this is where we'll see how much this carries through for Core and how much that momentum really meant to them when it comes to the wind in the sails. And this is where you could have Infiltrator, who's really been balanced on. We were worried, was he gonna overcook? Was he gonna just try to do too many heroics? Well, the Prowler is gonna mark this SRB, throwing a curveball towards Core as Flya sends them all packing with a 3K.
Trying to see if Smoke was able to pick up a rifle or an SMG in that moment. Only 1 headhunter bullet left in the chamber. Satellite going to be there too as the blast back to be able to maybe get something done, but this shot has to be perfect from Smoke.
Last player standing.
Oh, not perfect at all, but hey, Smoke has been consistent up until this point, and it's okay because Core, it's an anti-eco, and that's how they know they know what they're doing. They only have 2 deaths though, which is quite surprising through 2 rounds. So Core definitely bolstered by some kind of plot armor.
Yeah, that pistol was just so flawless from them. And that last one barely losing a body. Orbs might take a little bit of a time to build up on their side though, because you do get one for every death. But that being said, the money starts to rack up very, very fast. A chance now for SRB to slow that momentum down. Not really swapping smoke to a different site. Actually getting the double up into B. There's a trap play happening for this one. Smoke and TP off. Then you have Exa, who's still left over, who loves to be in the fray. The trap.
Another B push, and Core, they are just gonna brute force their way through. No way SRB are gonna go for that again, and it's Core's turn to make the most out of that. But the perimeter now being forced, Moose has to pay attention. This does weaken the push for Core. They could probably just open the B link door, but now that Moose is gone, they just gotta set their goal forward, which is now not having anyone alive anymore. So solid for SRB.
I forgot to check the side. I just saw that SRB are green, and that means so is Xander's shot right now. Every single time we're on defense, this guy has so much value for the team. From Split all the way to Breeze, and now here on the side of Lotus as well. Doesn't have the same level of rifle as some of his opponents either, is able to find that value. It's just huge, and they understand he's on the C side as well. Usually that's where you'd put your Sentinel. Usually that's where Chambers playing as well to be able to TP off, but the meta's changed a bit to where Omen can also start on that side, and then Shadow step backwards as well. Ooh.
Umi has an op in round 4 as well. Interesting approach. Have different choices. I mean, Derek held one. Infiltrator did a lot of it on Split. There are many options on Core's side for these long-range picks. As the Viper wall comes down, open sight lines. SRB have Nature on the corner. It's gonna maybe spot this walk-in after the satchels from Infiltrator, and he's made his moves. Slight cut off there from SRB, but you couldn't stop the Core plan or the setup, especially where Moose is at this breakable door. Oh, but X's Judge is just nastier.
Yeah, is able to get that pick right off the corner of it, and that might just open up the round. 3 kills left to go for either side, for either team. Time ticking, advantage for Core. Door opens. Kumi, 2 different storylines to play with. Not going to be paranoid. I think he is. The quick scope not going to land. Exa is able to open up with 2. It's just Infiltrator at the top. No rocket, just the rifle. Smoked off, and that might be an advantage for him. Spray for 1. Nade active again. And that might bring disaster for SRB. Exa gonna close the gap. Gonna get so personal with this. Time is ticking. Also for the classic Infiltrator. Shuts him down.
12 HP, by the way. What a clutch for Infiltrator. I almost thought he was greedy for taking the nade out after he noticed that second player. He maybe could have been shot through the wall. It doesn't land, and he gets to zone off the spike even more because of that nade. And I like that Exa just ran after him, but the boom bot perfectly timed. Infiltrator not caught with util in hand in both opportunities that Exa could have punished him. And Lady Luck smiles on Core as Infiltrator's looking as clean as ever, carrying that performance from Breeze all the way to Lotus on our decider to see who moves on to top 4.
Core slows down the round. Their A take is disgusting in the best ways. Like how they choose to scale on that site, it's so hard to handle for the side of SRB. Scaling from the right side. This time though, defensive on the C side. Smoke on SRB. Is still not going to be able to handle the way that Core end up with these peaks. Pushed back over with 10 HP. Smoke in the way again. The utility that Core have for the moment is so overwhelming, and SRB are getting no angle.
The armor helps out for Core. Infiltrator survives a body shot from the Outlaw at 10 HP and at least is able to trade blows. Smoke is doesn't really hinder him. It's actually now the paranoia does hinder him. Core gonna make space, but what a read on the high ground teleport there from Playa. But the rest of Core will supplement. They'll bail each other out. The showstopper trades. We're left with numbers on Core's side to plan.
Doesn't matter. Every single time Core show up, there's an ability in the way. This time a Prowler held him with the entry. Hit after the plant. The scaling with utility is just so good. Every action has an extra little dot with it, and SRB have to go bonus mode, have their work, and then some more to be able to get the job done. C is not going to see much. Nature going to be with his teammate on the same side, so they can't really pincer the pit. It's so hard to penetrate. Finally able to find a way through, but they're going to be able to have a visit over to main. That's Kumi's sight line. Blocked, denied. They understand the ramifications of this 2v3. It's right there in their reach, but they just can't navigate the pit.
It took a swing at it after the Prowler from Nature marked someone in the corner. They thought maybe they could flush him out. There was a chance to take the pit down, but after they couldn't discover anyone on the outside protecting it and going into disadvantageous positions, XN Nature made the correct move of just saving, especially where the economy is. You do not want to let Core ramp up, just like they did on Breeze when they went on that 7-round win streak. You know that this is a team that the more hype they get, the scarier they become.
Absolutely. And this timeout from SRB comes in. I just don't know where the gaps are for Core right now. Again, their util scaling is perfect. A smoke to block off the op that gets raised, a showstopper, which gets Viper, the plant, which then gets the team, a pit. You can see the links happening here for Core are amazing. On the retake as well towards backside, Xander, who has not been solved so far in the series, not just this map, but the entire series, is peaked on in the perfect way, up down, and can't handle the pressure either. He gets seized. I mean, SRB are really backs against the wall right now, and that's crazy to say if you only watch the first half of Breeze.
Yeah. Even when SRB try to surprise him with like a B walk down or something, then Flya shows up with a 3K. Like, there's always someone from Core that makes up for these deficits or these initial struggles, and that's the clutch power that Core have had. I mean, talk about a 10-4 comeback. I mean, it doesn't get any more clutch than that. I mean, the Q stands for clutch, clearly. So I'm wondering if this maintains throughout Lotus, because we're only 5 rounds in.
Big thing for Core as well. Their tough sides have been attack. They've only ever won a few rounds on these sides as well. Defense is usually where they have a bit more cohesion, a bit more of a game plan to break it down. Having 4 rounds on this one, looking this clean with it, is amazing for the team.
So being like these shotguns on lower buys. Last time it was Exa and the breakable door. Now it's satellite and tree. And Core maybe sensing this, don't want to put themselves in situations where they can't outrange SRB, or they'd like to outrange SRB. Being so careful on these approaches, really working the distance between them and working for picks.
This is probably screaming not an A angle, though. The best way they've scaled it, Core, so far is opening that tree door. So the less they see of it, the more the seaside smoke stays active. Up on mound in the weirdest ways. How do you solve this one? Headhunter not able to get a kill. Having the tour de force there would have been huge, but he's gonna play this around just with that pocket guardian.
When it came to smoke, I mean, he had 4 op picks on split, and that's just the op, not the outlaw, not the marshal, but it's Exa. Just taller and better, and to be stoic when there's a raise like satcheling around or navigating an SRB, this snake bite, well-placed Core will just pivot the map, flip it, and they already have Flya who teleported in to make that space. Out of respect, of course, this one way that's about to come up, and SRB got to take their time, and they got full util from satellite to flush out these corners.
Conditioning so good. Paranoid, fearful. Flya falls off heaven. SRB come flooding in. He's still alive, but overwhelmed. Xander activated with the sheriff. It's just Moose against 4. Too many angles, and the door finally opens up for SRB as they find their first good retake inside this entire half.
And post timeout, SRB finding success to cut that lead now in half, and just really impressed with what Satellite was able to create there on the retake. Boombot, nades, whatever it is, using speed to their advantage to break crosshairs. And now if Smoke can find more picks, if he gets an op online or any kind of sniper in the future, SRB, a huge part of their kind of what was working for them on split is how many first bloods they had. It wasn't even all Smoke, but just his ability to be the strongest opera, or just strongest sniper in the whole lobby was a huge strength of SRB. And now he has the outlaw. There's some armor to try and chunk through, though, and he watches carefully as Kumi just pokes his head out, and best Smoke.
He unscoped just to get a lay of the land, and that land is getting absolutely lit ablaze. Exa as well, half HP locked down. It's covered. Nature up against a smoke as well. I think it's the only way he's going to be able to find some value. The door finally closing, but Fly gets a penetration shot into Wood. Tough for him there. Derek also finding value. This attack side cannot stop. Just completely flooding in. Satellite again tiptoeing, tap dancing past the seas. Has to go nuclear here.
Almost stopped by his own util, allowing Core to escape, but now playing off of each other. Satellite forced them, and they're all stacked for him. A showstopper just to boot, the cherry on top. And Moose, I mean, he is being hunted. And now the showstopper expired. You got the defuse going through. And what a moment for Satellite and the rest on a retake that looked kind of core-sided in that round.
Yeah, that's just talent coming in from Satellite. Perfect timing to be able to cross as well. We talked about some of the layering from Core, the utility that helped them stick onto these spots on these sites. I'm not seeing it, but in that moment against Satellite, you have to be able to get that trade. Unfortunately, I think Kumi exhausted all the skill onto Smoke at the start of the round. The first headhunter shot didn't have any left to confirm the trade towards the very end. So you got to be able to take it back and forth.
What was that, like basically a pseudo 1v4 for Satellite and working through a one-way to forcing Core to run away from him? What a clutch for SRB, and Xander is the first victim. Kumi is just heating up, and it's a save for Core. A bunch of sheriffs and a stinger. So wait a minute. SRB also, they have rifles, they have a pit in B, and you have Nature by himself, who even if he goes for a nightfall, he'd like someone to fight with him.
Understands that the team's probably going to be going for that rifle or the weapon, whatever could be available at the door. But to fight for it, you'd have to throw the entire rest of the map away. Even if you win the fight, you're going to have Core being able to rotate all the way over to C before you get there. So rifle gotten, switching up a few things over. Ooh, big clash over in tree. SRB hold it down against the team with full sheriffs. Even a rifle doesn't matter. The scope now on its own will not be as a threat or as big as a threat from the side of Core.
Insane round yet again of Satellite getting a 3K. As soon as you heard they let that weapon that got dropped as bait, Nightfall's exchange, and Satellite, look at him slapping his desk, and this is with happiness. Like, holy, really nice to see SRB kind of shake things off and be in a position where they're confidently leading and they're make the most out of a situation like this. I mean, they lost Xander early, let the weapon down, like I said, and made that into a situation where they bait them into a nightfall.
It's huge to deny that as well. Core will time out now and start to get organized themselves. Again, the level of cohesion, the glue they had from weapon to utility just hasn't been the same since around round 5, since SRB started coming back into this one. This is a game of spirit, momentum, a game of energy between these teams. Strategy is definitely there, but it does feel like whoever is more confident right now is able to get their utility in the right place, is able to have those trades happen between their players, and SRB are really making these retakes work.
And Derek is busy kind of enabling the team, and he's having the quietest time right now, but he was also the hero of Breeze. Like, the amount of times the right side of the map was secured because of Derek, the information that he gives them. He's someone that especially shines when things look dire for Core. And the whole reason why they started win streaking went on that 10-4 comeback. So Kumi now has bought himself the ops, Smoke as well. Nature maybe has an Odin lineup towards the right side of the map. We'll see kind of what SRB have drummed up for that Odin. Lots of fun places for there. And yeah, right for a Rebel fight.
Not coming in. A little bit of showing over towards the A side, but C control is what Core is going for. They have it. Do they choose to lock it down over here or push back over to where their teammates lurking? Moose, who's so good at finding value and space on the map.
Smoke can take an aggressive peek and just teleport out if needed. Xander can blind and relieve some pressure as well. Smoke really needs to hit this shot, though. It's a big investment to go for the op at all the way down to 0 credits. A lot easier for Smoke as well on the defensive chamber, and he gets spotted on the jump. That was almost disastrous.
I can't believe Kumi understands that angle exists. He's just trying to go for some value, and it's crazy that Smoke doesn't commit to it. He just jump spots a little bit, so The Chambers both fully online. They're actually committing to this, going all the way through. Moose is linking up back with the team. Spike finally finding his way over. Smoke interrupts. Flya, no regen. Smoke's coming in. Xander is there as well to lock things down as the overhead peak is getting stomped on, denied, heads chopped off and rolling down the stairs of back C
30
site.
seconds left.
It's bloody, it's messy, it's a massacre, and it's completely one-sided for SRB. Their hold, their link, their chain is too strong. Kumi will find a way to loosen things up just a little bit. Connecting three, and finding a way to link up the entire round. Smoke says, please, no more.
Kumi killed way too much there. Like, how did he just swap the pistol and get out and get that much value off of being solo? And I mean, Core could have even ended this earlier if Kumi hit that shot onto Smoke, which, like you said, was already an angle you weren't expecting. And I can tell that this off duel between Kumi and Smoke is going to have an impact on the future. Finally, Smoke starts off the round in good favor, but you kind of all staggered in to Kumi there, which made me worry about SRB's decision there. But hey, 1 round lead, not the cleanest, but a win's a win. And you have an Odin and an Op still in this picture.
Let's sneak up onwards as B-side. Satellite knows that there's something wrong. Haven't seen anything on C so far. No challenge. Here it goes. Blastbacks all the way. Nature finally down. So no fade util for the retake. This will be tough. SRB's relied on it a lot so far.
That's the main point of information. The boom bot's just a distraction. Exa, Mark's X is on the site as Core are surrounded. They have to fight with what they know against what they know, which is at least removing Exa. Numbers back in Core's favor on the post plant. Kumi gonna watch the C-Link door that is just open. That's a 1v1 that could decide a lot, and Kumi is clean as ever. His Satellite against the world has earned a showstopper, but hey, Derek will not cower.
Confidence from Derek is the reason that Core is able to win that round. More than enough time there for Satellite to be able to find the next person coming through towards the right side. Crazy mess now. A little bit of the game devolving on all sides, just coming down to gunfights instead of the strategic stuff we've been seeing from before. I'm not seeing the same level of layering. I'm not seeing the level of trading either from the defensive side. Some solo player there from Nature to try to interrupt the people coming in. It's crazy. It really is ego versus ego now between these two teams.
If we go towards a 6-6 half, though, you remember what happened on Split? Like, SRB came alive, and hey, Xander better late than never, and wanting him to be that reliable anchor that you remember from literally every other map. And the Outlaw remains in the hands of Smoke, getting away from the Op, Nature, the Odin. Maintain pressure on the right side so he can be more independent as Core testing the waters here at C, and they get a lot of SRB's attention.
21 HP left on Infiltrator. No Sky on the other side. And yeah, you're talking about it earlier there. The entire idea, hold up, Smoke solved by Derek as he just tries to get some space while there's chaos on the map. 4v4 now. What is going on this round?
So many seconds into the round, you didn't think that Core would still be in spawn. They're scaling through the right side. They have no information on SRB's setup over here, thanks to all the Viper walls. And what they do know is how they can disrespect that Viper's wall by just going through the B-Link door. But this is something that's been really scary for Core to face, having to post plan into B. So they pivot back into A, and they have enough zoning to delay SRB's retake.
Everyone's took apart though, damage on all sides. Nightfall, nightmares, and a horrible angle for Nature to be able to hold for the moment with just 1 HP. Nobody challenging him though. Trapped behind this tree and bomb site. It's tough for Core to even move. Sprayed down by the Odin. Found by every player on the side of SRB. Infiltrator, the insurance, also has no HP. Xander has taken a new identity of the retaker on his defensive side. Who would have thought that he gets better? He was holding sights down as an anchor, and now he's retaking them round after round after round.
Just a stiff breeze would have knocked over Xander at 1 HP, or not Xander, the Odin at the backside, but it's because of Xander that Odin could even peak at 1 HP. He puts the smoke down. How can you react? How do you kill something you can't see? So the Odin knew exactly where the targets were. The comms, very clean from SRB side, from Nature and Xander, how they coordinated the final crunch and the retake. SRB have the lead, 1 round left in the half. No big ults to really worry about. We'll see what the weaponry is always going to help Core, where there's a bunch of pistols in the picture.
Xander, 2 layers again, and that sense of communities coming back on the side of SRB. 1 teleports away, a drop down, and Xander will just win. God Anchor, getting more value. The smoke is now that layer 2 on the site. Look at how much time he buys. The setup from SRB, it's just rifles, it's just positions, but it delays for so long.
You see Smoke thought about swinging and maybe making a play, and it's kind of 50-50 whether Smoke is able to achieve kind of on these aggressive peaks. And he looks over to Satellite, and it's, you have that nade, that raise nade, some satchels to delay Core, and instead they play their lives. That's what SRB need to do, just play off of each other. They have the weaponries, they have the numbers, they don't need to take risks.
This is the first time that Core actually will need the opposite. They've been so good at playing as a team. It's been missing a little bit now, but 3v4, you have a Stinger and then Tour de Force online. Somebody has to take a risk here. You have so much space. You cannot stay on the site. Okay, it's Kumi at stairs. So much to be able to deal with. It's just too close. It's not greedy enough. And the rest of the team from SRB, they're already here on flank. They're coming in fast.
Both the Vipers are still alive, so the walls are what's hindering SRB from the approach, or at least trying to isolate the fights. They go through tree. They hope that the range of these weapons will be enough. It's a 4v3. Core is where the Stingers could ring true, but the smoke is what separates the teamwork of Core. And SRB have a game plan, and it's to try and pull off this game 3. And a quick little crouch ends this half 7-5 for SRB.
Switching sides.
Should be the opposite in scoreline on average for teams who are, you know, attacking overall. The attack side usually gets to 7. Core started off really strong with synergy, really good utility. That was layered so well, as we've been talking about. Barely any gaps in their gameplay for SRB to even have a voice. And then after a few timeouts, after a momentum switch here and there, SRB come absolutely clapping back. Amazing patient rounds, positions from certain teammates, and specifically Xander on the retake is able to assist Smoke on the C site, assist his team on the retake for A. The global defensive man has done his job. It's up to the other 4 players now on attack to find more value. I'm looking specifically at Nature and Satellite to lead the charge here in taking space and getting kills.
Nature had a fantastic split in terms of just the clutch power he had just on his own. So many multi-kills. Different situation now where he's more about gathering information than giving these huge leveraged fights compared to the Sky that's flashing in and whatnot. SRB back to dialing things back in spawn now on the pistol. It's SRB, you know. Oh, they're spotting the double mound push, and quick to retreat as Smoke, who is trying to minimize the risks that he goes for, and then repeaks. Jesus, okay, Smoke, he'll fend off anybody else at C. Marking 2, SRB for the rumble fight above the wall, though. Almost Kumi's attempt to try and do the same thing.
Can't mimic his mirror. And now that door turns as well in tree. Things shattering on this side under pressure. Derek not going to be able to win the fight. Infiltrator's nade is the only thing that finds value. Kumi finally active, but the last headhunter cannot find its mark. Satellite is there, getting the kills. Nature's guiding him with the space, and now Xander's online protecting something. He gets a 200% damage buff, aimbot, axe, everything when he's playing defense. Flya, what can you do by yourself, buddy?
SRB on the offense, these pistols are a different beast, and so is Satellite, a 3K. Even just before we cut away from his POV, like the way he plays cover, he's so smart. He knows how to draw out and break your crosshair, get rid of all your ammo, maybe even force a reload, so he just guarantees himself the win. And the way that he just, well, not to make the joke, but to infiltrate into A and kind of be like by himself, get all these kills, a 3K on the pistol allows SRB to just get that much closer to top 4 if they can maintain the lead.
Yeah, this is an elimination match inside Challengers. One of the very last, versions of this tournament that's available. Next year, the VCT system's changing entirely. You might not see these orgs. You might not see these teams. And right now, SRB are linking together on all sides of the map. Why did they push A last time? Because they had this smoke pressure on this side. This time, Kumi solves the C mount. Meanwhile, the rest of the team blasts back already into B. Need to find more space from here, though. They cannot get stuck inside the site.
Probably not Smoke's favorite site to hold with a Marshall, and thought he would have swapped positions with Exa to hold C Mound, where Smoke looked good over there, but Exa's been a lurk that SRB have relied on before, and hey, it looks like the Marshall still does well, even in close quarter situations. SRB able to match band for band, but here come the pistols at close range. Smoke just gets to continue to one-shot anything when there's no armor, and now there's nobody from QOR in sight left.
Really good walk away from nature to get just far from the bomb site, and at the same time is able to lock things down for the team and insurance when that door does open. I also like the way that SRB lean onto that door and stay on this angle, backs towards their walls, making sure they're not exposed to multiple angles all the time. On top of all of that, QOR, a valiant effort, doubling up on door, having good timings all across in that retake, just didn't have the firepower, and now they do. Ultimates nowhere near in tow, so it is all that raw strategy. We talked about some of the hard hitters from the side of SRB. It's been the team so far from QOR. They have to link together, but it's Kumi who's falling apart by himself. Nobody ready on the angle. Exa is gonna get the surprise double spray, and individually every single piece falls. It's not a house of cards. It's a frayed deck that's damaged, dusty, and getting absolutely ripped apart.
And Kumi's been trying to be dynamic around the map, whether it's initially holding C to now being so aggressive in rubble. And once he lost that position, QOR weren't sure if SRB advanced into it. So as soon as those crosshair broke from QOR, SRB were at the right, well, Exa was at the right place at the right time. And SRB, with clean decisions, clean awareness throughout this map, this is them getting to double digits and pretty dire straits for QOR in a moment like this.
Yeah, Lemon's been stressing about some of these free angles that SRB are getting 100%, and it's nice you pointed out again. It's very smart, and QOR can't latch on to what you are seeing right now because of the mess that SRB causes on all sides of the map too. C was the threat, which is why A was free to get for Exa in that angle. They're working the world of Lotus right now. They're not just focusing on one side of the map. Jesus. Danger towards the end. This is where things changed for QOR in the last map, though, remember? Even with losing a bit of the momentum inside the pistol and whatnot, they were able to come back in a moment where rifles, no rifles, way back against the wall. SRB started to make a few mistakes, and QOR were really able to lock things down. So let's see if that happens on this side as well. I'm just looking at the top three members of SRB, though. Satellite, Xander, Exa, so hot right now in so many different ways and portions of the game.
Even from Exa, that last round, that double kill was sick. Xander falls, and this kind of splits apart SRB, who have been the only team in the series to convert a bonus, which they did so on split. First time now in this map they do so. Huge boon for SRB to work with, despite losing one of their better players. They'll have to make do. This is where Smoke, oh, he's already forced to take a step back after the paranoia from Flya was thrown.
Not a full all-in, but a weird economy there. Blast not keeping Exa in. He didn't want to stay. Trolled by his teammates just a little bit. Satellite, you got to be able to pick things up after the fact now. Smoke put down to be able to get the second peek coming in. It's disaster a little bit for SRB. Can Smoke figure it all out? Double Marshall hits from the smoke into Smoke. And the remnants of that same Breeze comeback start to loom on the minds of SRB.
Especially with how low that buy was. Technically not a thrifty, but that they got to pick up 2 or 3 rifles from that encounter. I think going into that with 2 rifles, a Marshall and a pistol or something like that. So SRB, tough situation to be put in. QOR benefit, and even are able to afford a Kumi op. Smoke will have one as well. And this is that long sight line at A. If it gets broken up by a Vipers, well, when does that get taken down? And that rubble control, you got to watch out for it. That's that lapse that QOR got punished on before.
completely different setup, by the way. Usually Kumi's on this side of the map. They've swapped over Omen and Viper, both Flya and Moose, to have so much stall. Paranoia to stop the players from coming in. Snakebite and maybe that orb as well to keep the smoke chain going. Yeah, this is going to be very tough without flashes to push through. Nature as well, just down to one Prowler. No orb available to get that Nightfall coming in. How do you push this through the smokes?
You march Derek using a Prowler in B main, getting some looks, doing so after you have Exa starting to clear. A B is pretty hard site for SRB to try and defend, so they're just covering their tracks, covering their backs, and SRB starting to
cover going out.
Test core and all these smokes. Are they just gonna send Xander to teleport in? Is a satellite just gonna satchel? Like, what's the plan here?
They have Paranoia. They're threatening this B angle, but with Derek on this site, they know that that pressure's fake. Look at their A setup. They have 2 players here to check what's happening on this side of the map, and they have infinite smokes. Paranoia to respond with. The blind is not going to be there in the composition, so the haunt is the only threat. That's broken down. It's a perfect gapless setup from Core.
Reposition from Flya 2 to dodge the C's. Perfect timing on the Paranoia as SRB went to punish or be productive at some point. And SRB just happy to maintain or to keep what they have and meet an absolute ironclad defense. Just not able to work any picks or get vision on really anything.
Literal Mission Impossible setup from Core there in terms of you would need, like, what's his name, Ethan Hawke, to try to find a way to get onto that site. You had like 1 second of a gap maybe between the smokes, but even then, Paranoia coming in, you have to predict where Flya is going. You just mentioned his movement is solving those issues anyways. And there's another rifle round on the board here for SRB. Showstopper also available. They swapped over Kumi, the guy who can make these problems go away fast for his team, onto B, and he might have a sightline onto the stopper. He misses, he whiffs, but he TPs away. Mistakes on this one. Satellite pushes forward, catches one. There's no way he still gets value.
I'm just glad Satellite got a kill. He was 2 HP. That was like the best case scenario for him. So SRB, they are set up to plant.
Biggest best case, no Paranoia, no smokes on the retake. This is so much trouble, especially against the Viper Spit. You don't have the tools right now if you're Core. You have to just go for miracles.
And the Boombot just did not go deep enough for Infiltrator. He still has a nade. They can try to flush them out. And just the threat of the op just shooting through the pit. That's coming from Kumi, by the way. Getting SRB to play the edges of this pit. And now it's time to evict SRB. And standing tall is the rest. But the pit comes down. A chance for Core to assess. But they don't have the numbers. They may have a shot. But SRB have the trades. It's Kumi versus Nature. And HP prevails. 11-7 for SRB.
A messy round, the pit taken down, but it's just not enough. So many levels of insurance for SRB. And again, the tools not being there for the side of Core, trading in your raise. And Para was actually already used. I feel like there's nothing the side of Core could do then. What a hold. Kumi getting electric and online with that headhunter though towards the very end. It's still just not enough. 11-7. Economy available to be able to play with. Tour de force online for Kumi, and they've put him back over towards the seaside.
You want to play? Let's play.
No timeouts for Core to try after only winning 2 rounds this half. It's do or die. Last map. And in the lower bracket, SRB with a 3-2 split, hoping to greet some aggression over at Mount, not getting it. And Kumi has been so deadly on this side of the map. A different switch up, a showstopper from the sky, right into Exa and that lurk. And Prowler marks that there's more trouble around the corner.
That was a prediction on Smoke's rendezvous. And Exa is the one to take the bullet for El Presidente. Is it the best bullet to take as Smoke gets online, a shot through route? Almost equalizing things down to a 4v3.
Even just knowing that spike just got dropped. It got picked up, but it gives confidence for Core. They only have 4 members left, so it's a 3 site, so they gotta spread themselves thin. SRB looking to wait for these smokes to expire, and Fly hopes to make them expire with another well-timed Paranoia. And he has, of course, Kumi. I can bail him out if there's gonna be a raise satcheling in his face. Here comes Satellite Paranoia right through, and he couldn't react in time. Flya sacrifices himself, but SRB only have 2 left.
Span might be possible. Smoke is playing
Last player standing.
in no man's land and is not going to find any value whatsoever. The core setup has numbers, had a threat in utility, and is able to win the round. 11-8. The game is closer than you think.
It really is. You got Nightfall online for Nature coming up. Core not even needing, like I said, a timeout to... They know that this is a map that they can win. They feel like they can execute their game plan. Core, I mean, they had something on the menu, the showstopper, to repeat, to go for a contact play with Spike in hand too. Like, Core just kept punishing SRB and denying that rubble space, which has been massive for them. Retake works out in the end. Nightfall v Nightfall, though. How are you going to play this tug of war? Because C has not been free for SRB to take.
You want to play? Let's play.
Really stretching forward. Kumi is going to be just solved now. I think in the fastest speed that SRB's found. Not the main target though, and no rotations with the side of Core on the safe side. They're not convinced of the C tick whatsoever, and they are correct in their presumptions. A is the focus for SRB for the next little mode and moment. How much longer do they spend here is the question. They have a pop that's strong enough to get through tree. Will they even try for it for this time? Because they're stopped at rubble for now.
Xander grabbed the orb for his ult too, and he's could help out the team at any point. But Derek, if this door just opens, I mean, he could even Nightfall before it does, and it covers SRB, and they just panic. They react with their own Nightfall. Core can't even do anything about this, but rather be happy with the delay that they created.
4 players hit, so much information found. 45 seconds as players rotate over towards the A side. Infiltrator gets a better angle here as well. The thwart a tick that's coming in might catch people on the transition. The B pop is available. Exa wins another fight again. Paranoid is every player here in Flya. Needs to convert the kills. You can get 2. Smoke responds back. Exa in the god spot finds a spray. This could shut the entire game down. 1 player, 3 letters, 3 kills.
Planted.
Exa flashes of brilliance when left in a position to fend for himself. Infiltrator got distracted by a flying satellite, and Core's power positions thrown away. So maybe this whole series thrown away after the effort that Core made. It's match point, series point for SRB.
I like to see him as a player for everything. If it's cool, calm, and collected, Smoke can end up playing that slow round so well. If things get hectic, if they get scrappy, Exa loves that type of gameplay. You saw it on Split where he was jumping into his own smokes, fighting through every toxic screen in line. It was crazy, man. And then of course, if you need somebody to defend something, I mean, Xander is your guy. On the other side of things right now, Kumi is setting the pace for Core. A wall just like Xander that takes so much from SRB to solve. Derek's brought the Odin out again, ready to go, shooting on route. Exa is in another scrappy position.
There's the Boombot exploring B. Marks 1, gets him distracted. No. Kumi does not hit the shot, and he cannot be flustered at a moment where Core need him to the most. Exa will be in rubble. SRB looking to progress from there while having good spread around the map. The options are open for SRB.
Derek finding his own war on this side of rubble at the same time. The pressure on all points of the map right now is really expending all the resources from the defensive side to hold their line. Meanwhile, a gap, a chasm is being formed on the C side. Pressure from Kumi, who's missed that first shot, might give confidence for SRB to move towards the C side. They're going, the gap filler, Flya, is there, but he's not on that same angle that's giving the team value. He's not playing on site.
Just the threat of this op looms, and it really changes the way that Core are approaching this defense. And now Infiltrator will watch as Smoke just walks up with it. Exa can't trade. The Spike's making moves within C, which Xander's not gonna stick. And he had the information, and Kumi had the answer.
He troubles up the round though. Both players headed onside. He has so much work to do. The flood's already come through. The pivot onto B. And Exa finds a way to open up the round again. How much value can Nature find? Not much, but just some damage. 2 versus 3. Do they play together or stretch out? Insurance from Satellite. The hero play from Exa.
He's wrapping around, and all Satellite has to do is listen for the tap on the spike, but Moose is still alive. The wall could come up. Satellite could be closed off from the objective, but the timing is everything for Exa. He's coming in from behind. This is the SRB win, and no one's watching him. But Exa needs to execute. That's the whole plan. Satellite will get two. Infiltrator will end the flank. Satellite needs to be the hero against his mirror. Satellite versus Infiltrator for the win. The Fuse just gets held. No! Satellite from the top rope. SRB to top floor.
Keeping the dream alive in the most scrappy way possible.